Wow.
We were talking about deportation, and I was like, well, what's the numbers on that? And he was like, well, I can't give you a number because some bullshit. And I was like, well, if we're gonna say that something, oh no, it was about waste, fraud, and abuse. That's what it was. Also, thank you for whoever gave me the 500. It was talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, and we were specifically talking about like programs like food stamps, Section 8, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he was making a big deal over it, and I was like, okay, well, like, what's the percentage of people that are like, scamming the system? And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, like, I was like, I'll speak for myself. I'm not gonna speak for other people. If you tell me that we have like, food stamps, right, and you tell me 10% of people on food stamps are like gaming the system, I don't give a fuck. 10% is very fucking low to me. So I'm not gonna make a big deal over like doing something to food stamps just because of 10%.
Right.
I was like, now if it's like 40%, that's different because 40% is a lot out of 100. So I was like, do we have any percentage of people gaming the system? And I was like, if you can give me at least a number, like, I'll give you that because, okay, like, there is some evidence that people are gaming the system. But I was like, can we really? Right, and it is a lot less than 10%, and that's what I was trying to get him to get to, but he didn't want to get there to the point where he was like, well, I can't give you a number, because if I give you a number, it's something stupid about, like, he can't give me the number because it's going to do something to, like, I don't know, he was just being dumb, and I just kept getting frustrated, and Erica was too, because she was like, no, give him a number. She was like, because we always do this thing where people need to bring evidence, and she's like, you guys never bring your evidence for claims, and he's like, Erica was like, you're claiming waste, fraud, and abuse. Give him a number. And I was like, dude, I'll accept 30%. I'm like, if you say 30% of people on food stamps don't need to be on food stamps, like, heck, I'll give you that. And I'll say, let's do something to food stamps. I'm like, I'm not going to say get rid of it altogether because that's not fair to the other 70% that really does need food stamps. But like, we can restructure it. We can put some work to it. And I was like, that's my whole thing. I don't like right-leaning people that are like, I don't like right-leaning people, and I've said this for years, of like a contractor joke where like people on the right would see a leak in the faucet and want to destroy the whole house, while left-leaning people would see a leak in the faucet and want to like check out the pipes of the house. And he got mad when I said that because I was like, you guys would just destroy houses if y'all had the power. Like, that's y'all's thing. You guys are going to destroy a whole house because the faucet is leaky. And then he blocked me, and I had to come up on my off account.
That's what they usually go and do. Hold on. The person in the chat whose name I can't pronounce because I don't know even what language that's in. I don't know what you mean by you raise your mourning to on Eunice, and can I measure my brother? I don't know what any of that means. I'm sorry. No. No idea what you're talking about.
I didn't even see that. I am the one who raised my mourning on Khan Union. I don't get that. That sentence don't make sense. I don't get it.
I have no idea what this person's talking about. Yeah, I have no idea. Not a clue. Hey, crazy.
Crazy said if they turn off the water and keep it empty as a tax write-off.
Right.
That was a good one.
That's true, though. Shit. That is true, though. Well, y'all, we're not really...
Oh, yeah. My manager kind of rubbed me the wrong way. They're a Trump supporter, and they didn't even have to tell me that they voted for Trump, and it made our whole car ride awkward as shit.
Oh, yeah. I don't... So, it used to be my family tradition for Christmas would be I go to my aunt's for a Christmas party, and then my grandparents for New Year's Eve, and then my parents for breakfast, and then there was like a extended cousins thing after that. Well, right. When my grandmother died, my aunt just moved her party to Christmas Eve. Fine. Well, since this MAGA shit happened, I no longer go to Christmas Eve to my aunts. I no longer speak to any of them. I don't go to the after thing at my parents for breakfast. I go to that, and I don't speak to any of them because they always want to goad me into a political debate. And I'm from a Catholic family. There's like 75 of them, right?
Oh, so even then, like, everybody at the party is finna be fighting in some way, shape, or form.
Well, they all finna fight me.
Right.
Because they all want to get into, I'm one of two left-leaners. Well, my nieces and nephews are, but they don't talk about this stuff to them, so they don't try to go to,
Right.
but they know I am, and they know that one of my cousins, my second cousin, is, and so they always try to get us in political debates and fights in person, and then it just turns.
Oh, so basically, they like want to rage bait you when you come to
because
the family
they want to
gatherings.
turn it. They want to all be able to like start yelling at me, and it turns into like a 20 or 30 person on one conversation, and it's like I can't fucking defend myself to you all because I'm one person and there's 20 of y'all, and every one of y'all are screaming something stupid at me.
Right, y'all are gonna
nobody's heard
overtalk me
of.
no matter what. Right.
Like the fuck.
And then you're gonna pull some random shit out of your ass, or then you're gonna go, well, what about Obama in 2008? And it's like, why are we talking about Obama?
Right. Like, I'm so tired. It makes us so I get well, and it happened mostly because one of my cousins got into it with me. She got messaged me on Teams, and brought up. It was right before the election, and she brought up how awesome Trump is and how he's going to clean up the streets or whatever, of immigrants. And I was like, and it just led into a thing. And she wound up calling Kamala. She doesn't want that effing whore in the office, just being fucking racist as shit about it all. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done.
I really try to figure this out. Like, I'm like, that's one thing that I still have never been able, like me being young. I'm like, I have the time to do the research. Before, when I wasn't working, I had the time to look into these things. Where did they get the idea that Harris slept her way to the top? Like,
because she had one job that she was recommended for earlier on, and it happened to be 10 years after she dated a guy named I think his name was like Willie Brown or something. And they had dated like 10 years prior, and that's the only job that they could be referring to, but it didn't have anything to, she was already moved on, and so had he, like, had nothing to do with any of that.
right. Because like and look, this isn't even me trying to be the dude that's like, oh, like picking on right-leaning women. But like, I could understand it for someone like Kristi Noem. I could understand it for someone like what's the girl with the cross necklace? The speaker, blonde girl. She looks young. She's like,
Hey, Benny.
I'm forgetting her name. You know who I'm talking about though. She just recently was doing a thing talking about the boats in Venezuela. She's literally the girl that like handles the press and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about Caroline Levitt. Okay, yeah.
Yes, Caroline Levitt. Like, I could understand saying someone like Caroline Levitt and Kristi Noem like slept their way up to the top, because those two don't look like they know what they're doing. But Harris was like a whole lawyer in California and shit. Like, they always pick on, and it's like there is a big part of it that is like it's a race thing because they do the same thing with Jasmine Crockett. But there's also a big part where it's like you're always picking on the women who are like literal college graduates and shit. You're picking on the women who are like actually qualified for their work. It's saying that they slept their way up to the top is so minute like they went to school for this. The other girls don't seem like they've really went to school for office at all, and majority of them are super loyalists to the point to where even if they did go to school, Trump was just going to get them just because they said Trump's the best president. And like, I just think that's always the funniest part too, whenever people said that about Harris, because I'm like, this is the most, and one, it's never circular, because if you want to get on Harris for saying if she did or didn't sleep her way up to the top, right, you should hold the same standard for Trump cheating on his wives.
Right. The main thing of it is so I read the specifics of it. So Willie Brown, she dated, he was estranged from his wife at the time that they dated. He is 30 years older than her.
Right.
But he did appoint her to two state board positions, which that's where people get the claim from. But regardless of that, she was so qualified. And
right, that's what I'm saying. She was still a whole graduate.
Right.
She was an entire like attorney. Why are we trying to act like this woman did not have her own job qualifications?
And he pointed out that he appointed a lot of well-known politicians at the time, like Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom, to a bunch of stuff. she still carried out those jobs, and she went on to the other jobs like the attorney general, and any elected things she's ever been in, she's gotten from votes. So sleeping her way to the top is just factually incorrect. It's also gross to say in general.
It's very
just
gross.
because it's a woman doesn't mean she had to sleep her way there.
Right. She was never qualified, right. Still isn't. Come up and talk about it, Red Eye.
Oh yeah,
please, come talk about it.
Please tell me how she's not qualified. I'd love to hear it. She's literally the most qualified candidate that's ever ran. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of hers, but she served in every branch of government, and she did so successfully.
Right, like if you got some information we don't know, please shine some light.
Right.
Dugald, have you seen that people found out a way to look at the files unredacted?
No, but I would doubt that.
Oh no, people found those whoever redacted them did not know how to do the blackout properly. If you pull up the
did
files,
they do it with a Sharpie or something where you can see the print underneath still?
Oh no. They did an over redact. Basically, they had the file with the regular stuff, and then they put a different file on top of it, and like on the computer, and then they redacted the overlay of it. So if you pull up the file and copy and paste the whole thing, it'll show you the words unredacted.
Mm. Yeah, that's hysterical.
I'm telling you, clown car of an administration. I'm telling you.
I really hope that is true, because if that is true, then that means that just fucks up their whole entire everything, and that makes me so happy.
Oh no, literally, I've already reposted a bunch of videos about it, because at first I didn't believe it, but multiple people were showing like, oh no, this is a way to unredact the files. Just copy and paste it, and then go to like your notes or Google Docs or something, and then paste it on there. And it'll show you all the stuff unredacted. They're stupid.
That's funny. That is too funny.
I think it was done on purpose, though. I don't think someone would deliberately do that mistake. I think someone's a sleeper agent in the cabinet and was like, I can't stand this no more.
That's entirely possible. That is entirely possible. I think there's a lot of people in there trying to sabotage him, which is good. So
I would hope so. I would hope there's some level of credibility still in our like political power where someone has the guts to maybe not publicly stand up and go, I denounce him, but enough to be like, I'm not gonna let him have an easy run. I'm at least gonna sabotage one or two things.
Right. I'm gonna go, let me address this really quick. Yonder. Let's go ahead and where'd your comment go so I can get it right? She was not placed in the position of the candidate for being the president. She was last minute the one who went up. The RNC and the DNC are both set up for primaries. Your vote has never been counted in the primary. It's always been there's just a marker for where the superdelegates are who vote for the actual primary candidate are supposed to vote. They don't always vote that way. But at the DNC, she stood up, she announced her candidacy. Nobody raised their hand to oppose her. Nobody else wanted to run. They could have nominated and voted for and elected somebody else to be the candidate, but nobody wanted to run against her. That's the DNC's fault. Us not having a primary did not change anything. Literally nothing about a primary changed who was there. She would have been the nominee whether we had a primary or not, because it is not the primary votes from the voters that decides the winner of the primary. That just informs the delegates who the constituents would prefer won. There was never going to be a chance for anybody else to run because nobody else wanted to. She was not appointed. She won that spot. Circumstances were
literally
crazy.
Unanimously.
I think Biden should have dropped out a hell of a lot sooner to give her a better chance at running. But I do not think that she was placed there The circumstances weren't great, but she was definitely not placed there.
No, yeah. Saying that she was placed in that position is very lazy. And I think it's one of those things where, again, coming back to it, what does any of that have to do with her qualifications? Like, right. let's give them that, yes, she was placed into that position. She didn't want to do the position, and we weren't given a choice. And what? Like, literally, and what?
I don't know. All right, y'all. We're not really getting...
You're going to reset?
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and do a restart. We're at the top of the hour. We're not getting a lot of traction. So come right back to me. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Not even that long. So come right back, y'all. I'm going to do a restart.
All right, I'm going to go cook some food while you do.
All right, Gemini. Thanks for coming, friend. Hey, Benny. Hey, Apostate Ape. How are you, friend? I've been catching your lives recently. I've been enjoying them. I appreciate those. Thank you, friend.
Hello.
All right, Aaron, are you over 21?
I am. Yeah, I'm 22.
Perfect. What'd you come up to talk about?
Yeah, I do. I have an issue with teaching LGBTQ to QI or to K to 12.
And what issue is that?
Yeah, I do see an issue with teaching kids to affirm the rights of male people, to impede the safeguarding and boundaries that exist to allow female people to participate in society away from sex-based oppression.
Well, then as long as you're keeping men out of those spaces, you shouldn't have that problem.
Well, I did specify male people, right? Not men.
Well, male people, what do you mean by male people specifically? What do you mean by that?
Right. So the vast majority of the perpetration of physical-based oppression is perpetrated by male people. And so these boundaries exist to mitigate against that harm. And so if we want to do that coherently and effectively, the way that we do it is by protecting female people from males when they're in states of vulnerability and undress.
It's actually men who do all that. Male people would also subscribe that trans women are men, and they're not. So,
well, the statistic that I was referencing was male.
Right.
It's not men.
Okay.
So I'm just correcting you.
Well, either way, but what is the trans women are women, so they're not men or male, so it doesn't really matter to me on that aspect.
Well, with all due respect, I believe that you're just being ignorant to the magnitude of the asymmetry that we see.
What is the one universal characteristic that every male has to have?
Upregulation of the SRY gene or homogeneous gene.
And if they do not have those things?
Then they are female.
The SRY gene specifically?
I did not say that. No, remember I said, or a homogeneous gene.
Let's look and see if this is true. So that is not true, because you're talking specifically about something that shows up on the Y chromosome specifically. There are 16 different combinations of the sex chromosomes that we're talking about.
Chromosomes don't define sex.
Sex
That's why I didn't say
chromosomes don't define sex? Is that what you just
Nope,
said?
they play a role in determining sex, but they don't define it. That's why I didn't use that as my necessary condition to be. Sorry, I don't know where this interruption and aggression is coming out. You good?
Because I'm trying to get you back on topic.
Well, it's the male pattern aggression that I'm addressing is the exact reason why we shouldn't allow trans women into these spaces.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you started.
What the fuck? You were talking about the SRY gene specifically on the Y chromosome. That is why I brought up the fact that there are 16 different combinations. Some men don't always have the XY combination. This was my point. You wanting to steamroll over me when I'm trying to interject to get you back on task or to clarify does not mean I'm dealing with male aggression myself. I'm dealing with it coming from you. Imagine. I don't have a drink with me. Hold on a second, guys. Let me go grab something to drink real quick. Keep tapping, keep sharing. Right to here. I mean, he's right about protecting women from that, but it's if that's really what he were after, he would recognize that the stats showed that it's cis straight white men typically that cause those problems. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question then. Other gender, are you over 21? Other gender, are you over 21?
Yeah, is my mark working? I am, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask you the same question then. What is the one universal characteristic of a female?
Being primarily denoting to the production of large immotile gametes.
And when they cannot?
Did I say that they had to be?
I said I asked for the one universal thing that every female has to have.
Yeah, chiefly denoting the reproductive strategy that produces...
Chiefly is not universal. Chiefly implies some or majority or typically. That is not what I asked you. Universal would encompass all.
That does encompass all, yes. Chief denotation to one or the other reproductive strategy.
Then
Yeah, that's all encompassing.
Then when they cannot, and they are still classified as female?
When they cannot what? If you're going to say produce the gametes, then you're mischaracterizing the argument that I made.
Go ahead and make your argument again then, because that is what you said.
What it means for somebody to be female is to be of the primary denotation of the production of large immotile gametes, whether they are produced or not.
Right. And what I said is if they cannot...
Yeah, that's a confused question. I'm not sure what you're asking.
That is...
And if they are not what, you need to further specify.
If they don't have their ovaries, if they don't have their uterus, if they do
Didn't
not
say they
have
need to
a
have
vagina,
ovaries.
if they
Didn't say
do
they
not
need to have a
have the
vagina.
gametes required...
Didn't say they need to have the gametes. I said they needed to be primarily oriented towards. I didn't say they needed to have any...
Primarily, would it be a typical? That is not universal.
No, because you're either primarily oriented towards the production of large or small gametes, and the non-existence of somebody who doesn't fall into that category substantiates my claim that every single person, either one or the other, right? So you failed to substantiate your claim that there is somebody who falls outside of that definition that I gave.
All right, let's look at it then. Let's look at how this works. Hold on.
Just ask ChatGPT, is every single human person...
I'm not looking at ChatGPT. No, if you're looking at ChatGPT for anything...
I'm not. You're failing to substantiate your claim right now, so I'm just giving you the easiest way to clarify my position.
I don't need you or your help, so you can hang out. Just chill out.
Am I good to talk to Chat about the importance of upholding safeguards and boundaries for female people while you're researching?
So wait, you're talking about... So if we're talking about this, and you're talking about the production of gametes...
Not the production. I didn't say that. You're mischaracterizing what I said. I never said the production.
You're saying if they don't have the gametes or they don't produce them. Which one?
It's neither.
Then what is your point about gametes?
That they're primarily oriented towards the production of one or the other set of gametes. Listen to this aggression, male aggression again. Here we go again. Here we go again. It's the same shit. This is why male people can't be in women's spaces.
You're frustrating as fuck. That's why.
Yeah, what was up with that? That was weird.
It was the same dude as from before. He's trying to say that if they can produce or make fucking gametes, or they're primarily geared for, but if they do not produce gametes, which is the question I've asked him multiple times, then what?
It's almost like you can't nail it down to just one thing. It's almost like that humans have a little bit of a fallible nature in categorization.
Right. And I'm aware that's his intention, is to specifically piss people off. But it's frustrating because when you're sitting there telling me that their gametes are oriented for reproduction, if they do not produce gametes, then they don't have ones that are geared toward reproduction.
I'm just
like, the fuck? I asked you that multiple times and you kept saying that you never brought up gametes or the production of or having them. If you don't have them and you don't produce them, then you cannot have them to have them oriented for it.
I do kind of, I'm a little interested in what their end game is, because it's like, is your point to say like they don't deserve to share bathrooms, or this is the abortion, or sorry, the AB topic? Because
here he is again. You can ask him yourself.
Yeah, are you trying to say that we should like genetically test these people and check their gametes?
No,
and
not
their
at all.
gamete productions?
No, my point is
Like,
that we
before
need
they
to
can use the
uphold the
bathroom?
existing boundaries
I'm sorry,
and safeguarding that
was I
exists
done
to allow
talking?
female
He
people to
wasn't.
participate in
That's the
society
problem.
away
He
from
wants
sex.
this is what he wants
Yeah.
to do.
Was
He
I done
wants to rage
talking?
bait.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, what is your end game then?
My end game is to uphold the existing safeguarding and boundaries that exists to allow female people to participate in society
He's
away
a
from
pilgrim.
sex-based oppression.
He's a debate bro.
Okay, so is this in response to the letter C on the background, or are you trying to like just bring in this whole like gender sex debate?
Not at all. No, it was a direct response to B, which then derailed into this.
So again, I ask again, if a woman does not have eggs, then how does your argument not have an exception when I said universal?
Because she's still primarily oriented towards the Müllerian
If
pathway.
she doesn't have them,
Yep.
no, there are
doesn't have
women
them.
who don't have the Müllerian pathways.
I completely agree, and they're included in that definition.
How if they don't have what you're looking for? I said a universal definition, and they keep giving you
which I get.
exceptions, and you keep saying yes.
For being as stringent as you are right now on these things, it's weird that you're like conflating woman and female. Like
The reason go ahead, finish.
well, I mean, he was just referring to a woman, where you were more referring to a female.
Right. So I understand that using the word female in that context is a little repressive, but I do have to use that precise language because the word woman to you includes male people. And so if I want to refer to the category of people that are primarily oriented towards the production of large gametes, it's necessary for me to use the word female.
See, personally, I think that referring to some male people, I guess, as you are wording it, as women, that's fine. I can separate gender and sex.
Right, which you're supposed to, because they've been doing that in medicine since the 50s.
Right. And I agree. Those are not the same things.
Right. But again, if I say a universal definition and you keep agreeing that there are exceptions to those rules,
Never
then you
agreed with
don't
that.
have a universal. If they don't have the Müllerian pathway and they don't have the eggs, then they do not meet your requirements. That is not universal.
Great. So you can absolutely refute my claim then if you just substantiate that there's somebody who doesn't fall into either the category of being primarily oriented towards the production of large or small.
So we're still talking about her sex regardless, because that is biological. So what we're saying, typically individuals with conditions like ovarian insufficiency, premature ovarian failure, or specific intersex variations like Swyer syndrome, who may develop as female but do not produce viable eggs, or individuals who have had ovaries removed leading to infertility, highlighting that sex definitions based solely on gametes don't cover the biological diversity where some individuals don't produce gametes at all.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. I mean, my definition didn't include the production of those eggs as a necessary condition, and so it would still fit that
Then
person who
how
didn't
would
fit the
that work
typicalities.
if you're going to give out and say that gametes are part of your definition, but if they don't produce them, your definition falls apart?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty clear and repetitive on this. It's the orientation towards the production of one gamete.
If they don't
meaning,
have them, they can't be oriented.
Yes, they can. Yes, they
How
can.
they be oriented if they don't have them?
Because
Are you conceding that there is no like just binary?
every person is male or female categorically. I'm not conceding that in any capacity, no.
But your category is flawed.
Well, yeah,
Right.
so all you have to do to prove that is to give an example who doesn't fall into that category.
I
Give an
just
example of one
did.
person who isn't male or female. Go ahead.
Just gave you scenarios that don't fall into
You
your
gave
definition.
me examples of people who didn't produce the gametes, not that weren't male or
and your
female.
condition
Not that weren't male or
requires
female.
the gametes.
Okay, how about myself?
Go ahead, Benny.
I don't have testicles.
That's great. Are you primarily oriented towards the production of small gametes?
I don't know.
If he doesn't have testicles, he cannot produce small gametes.
I don't know. You
didn't
tell
say
me.
production was this host is absolutely fucking dense.
How
It's
do you have
unfathomable.
the gametes if you do not have the
I
organs
didn't
to
say
produce
you had
them?
to have the gametes, you
Then
dumb
what
fuck.
the fuck are you talking about?
You can still be primarily, you can have a sterilized male person who's still a male person because he's primarily oriented towards, he has the Wolfian pathway that indicates that he's oriented towards the production of small gametes.
I don't know. Maybe I do.
Maybe you do.
Tell me.
Yeah, I would assume by your voice and your stature that you do, but I wouldn't be certain on that.
Well, I do take testosterone though. So I mean, now I've gotten gender affirming care. So what am I?
I mean, whether or not I acknowledge you as one or the other isn't going to change the objective reality, right? Whether you're a male or a female is mind independent. So whether I acknowledge you as one or the other doesn't change
So
the
if there are
objective reality.
females that are not born with a Müllerian pathway,
What's the DSD?
albinism is one of them. Let's see. Some people, including women, are born with genetic conditions like albinism, which significantly reduces or completely stops. Oh, hold on. That's melanin. My bad. Hold on. My bad. It typed in the wrong.
Host is
Autocorrect got me.
talking
My
about
bad.
skin color up here trying to say that fucking...
Yeah, no,
oh my God.
my autocorrect got me. Hold on. Go ahead. Keep talking though.
I guess like what I'm trying to, and like I get where, you know,
All right. There we
just
go.
because of the debate itself, why somebody would take.
So yes,
know,
some women
this-
are born without a fully formed Müllerian system due
Fully
to
formed being the operative word there.
just stop a second. Due to conditions like Meyer-von, that's a really long one that I don't know how to pronounce all of those, but syndrome, where ducts fail to develop, leading to absent, underdeveloped internal reproductive organs, though external genitalia and ovaries remain normal. These congenital conditions affects about 1 in 4,500, so on and so forth. But it still cuts off everything that you are classifying as having a woman or being a woman, and just because you're denoting that their gametes are toward reproduction doesn't
Right, so an
fit.
underdeveloped Müllerian pathway isn't a Wolfian pathway, right? That's where the primary orientation towards
Right.
comes in, is because it's not a Wolfian pathway because it's an underdeveloped Müllerian pathway. That's where the host is missing the argument here with the
So
primary orientation.
in layman's terms, you're saying that if you don't typically look like somebody that would produce eggs, then you are more than likely male.
I did not say that, no.
So there's
Is
also
that not what you're describing?
there's actually
What
Müllerian.
it
someone
sounds like
looks
to
like
me.
has
Hold
nothing
on.
to do with what
There's
they
actually
are.
Müllerian agenesis. This is where congenital malformation characterized by a failure of the Müllerian ducts to develop, resulting in missing uterus and various other reproductive organs being missing. It is in 15% of cases primary amenorrhea. Because most of the vagina does not develop from the Müllerian duct, instead developing from the urogenital sinus, along with the bladder and urethra, it is present even when the Müllerian duct is completely absent. Because ovaries do not develop from the Müllerian ducts, affected people might have normal secondary sexual characteristics but are infertile due to the lack of functional uterus. However, biological motherhood is possible through uterus transplantation or use of gestational surrogates.
Right, so that specific disorder of sexual development only happens to female people, so that actually reaffirms my binary
Right, but
point of view.
no, it doesn't. It says the opposite of what you said the definition of a female is.
No, that's still somebody who's primarily oriented towards the production of large gametes,
It
given
says
that
it's
they're...
literally missing the Müllerian pathway.
It does not say that. No, you can reread it. It does not say that they're missing. It says it's largely
not
undeveloped.
development. It says because most
Underdeveloped.
of
Yep, there you go. Here we go again with the kind of shifting the goalposts. Yep, go ahead.
I didn't shift the goalpost. I'm reading what it says directly. As
You
I
shifted
did
the goalpost
before.
when you brought up fucking skin color as an argument to substantiate
That was an autocorrect
Hey, as a
thing, and I
person
said
who's
that.
melanated,
I
I
actually
didn't get
called
offended
myself
by it,
out
so
on
stop
that, you
fucking
piece of shit.
crying.
I called myself on that piece of shit. All right, because let's see, characterized by a failure of the Malarian ducts to develop. That does not say they underdevelop. It says they do not develop at all.
Right. So would that be somebody who experienced upregulation of the SRY or homogeneous gene, or would that not be somebody who experienced upregulation of the SRY or homogeneous gene?
What are your credentials exactly? Let's find this out.
So again, you're just saying in like a bunch of big words that either you look like somebody that produces eggs or you look like somebody that produces sperm.
Right, because unless you're
Whether
up
you
in
look
there
like
looking
it has
for
nothing
them,
to do with the objective reality.
unless you're in there looking for them, you will never know that anybody has or does not have them. So your point is
in the one-offs that Dugald's putting forth, you're just saying that typical like people that would produce eggs look a certain way.
Right. So
right, but when we set the
argument is just
expectations
bullshit.
surrounding these sex segregated spaces that they are to be segregated on the sex, people exercise social honesty, believe it or not, surrounding that boundary because of that expectation that exists. And that's how we're going to mitigate against the harm that is perpetrated by male people 97% of the time.
So the female spaces you're referring to, you do realize are societally given, right?
Are you in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going to have the exact same perspective here. I'm not in your country, so it's not exactly.
In a lot of countries, including a lot of European countries, they have co-ed spaces.
Yeah, I'm not in Europe. I'm not in the States, so we're not going to see eye to eye on that.
What is your point?
That we need to uphold the boundaries and safeguarding that exist to protect female people on the basis of the sex-based oppression.
But they're not actual boundaries other than ones that you input. And
right, so the safeguarding eliminates opportunistic crime where females are
on women. I'm just going to go ahead and let that happen there.
Yeah, I still don't understand how that applies to B, because transgender
American men are weird.
Transgender means gender, not sex. Yeah. So I don't even know like why the male female like discussion is even being brought up.
It's not. He wants to stick to first of all, the whole point of his argument was to talk about genetics that nobody's going to be looking at.
Good Lord, is he AI? Yeah. How do you type that fast?
He's got a copy and paste script he's sticking to. That's exactly what that is.
What in the world is that chat? Sorry, for people that are watching on where they can't see the chat, he said a lot. There was like a small dissertation that was made in the TikTok chat.
Wait, his claim now seems to state that women are not aggressive either.
Oh, I could show him aggressive.
Right. That's
Try me if you want to.
He keeps calling it male aggression. When I haven't shown male aggression, I've shown male frustration.
Yeah, there's a difference.
The big difference.
You know, in some cultures, like females, I guess, could have male aggression.
You know, that every time I hear female, I just hear like lesser than equal to an animal, like I'm supposed to fucking bark or something.
Well, yeah, like I'm trying to like be careful on how, I guess, non-male people. No, that's even worse.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. Like I came in at the ass end of the first argument before he got dropped the first time, and it's just like the fact that men have to argue points for women is
that's kind of why I dropped him, because I'm like, we've entertained this long enough. I've got women in the chat who are like, why is he speaking for women on women? And I'm like, I don't.
He can't. He doesn't have the pussy to do so. Wants to talk about our fucking pussies, bitch? You don't even have one.
Right. Hey, Solid, how are you, friend? Thanks for coming through. That's why I dropped him, because I had women in the chat who were like, why is he asking about our bodies? Why is he talking for us? And I'm like, okay, yeah, we need to drop him.
Yeah, sorry. I was picking his brain a little bit. I did just want to know what the end game was on that, because I didn't know if it was like a bathroom thing or like what.
The end game is at the end of the day, he's the type that he still wants to control the bodies of women. Yeah, because he's a man, he should have a say so.
Right, and that's where I want to get straight to the issue.
His original topic was B, and then he jumped straight to the bathroom stuff. Straight to. His original topic was teaching LGBTQIA, and he jumped straight into bathrooms, talking about women or men in women's spaces. I'm sorry, males and female spaces, he said.
Let me make something perfectly clear for his smooth brain koala ass. At the end of the day, a schmedophile and a grapist are going to schmedophile and grape. You really fucking think they're going to give a shit about how they look. They're just going to do it, you dumb fuck.
Thousands of years, nobody has gone through hormones and dressing and living as another gender so that they could grape someone. Never in the history of man has that gone down. And the people you're talking about are straight men.
Not to mention, like, women that are just entering bathrooms that might not look, to the expectations of what their like gender norm is for a woman, could be called out, and then told that she's a pervert or something, when actually she just might have a little facial hair.
Listen, I feel safer in gay spaces, GAY spaces, than I do in straight ones, especially straight white ones. Miss me with that bullshit.
All right, Minerva, you got to accept our invite. You're kind of rotating. It's not loading all the way, so I'm going to disconnect you. Request back up. I'm going to go ahead and talk to Tater, and then we'll come to you when you request back up, Minerva. Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey, later. Are you over 21, friend?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. And what did you come up to talk about?
It wasn't more to talk about. It was just like more to get some knowledge on.
Sure.
So I saw that, like you said that. So point B and point E. Could you kind of go into more about like your personal opinion about those?
Which one?
The teach LGBTQ through kindergarten to 12, and then how Christianity is harmful.
Oh, okay. Well, when it comes to LGBTQIA, there's a lot of reasons why I say this, but what I'm talking about, are you questioning like what I mean by teach it, or are you questioning like why?
It's like, could you go into the specifics on what like you should like about what would be taught?
Okay.
If you could choose, what would you want to teach the children?
Like anything, the only thing we advocate for in any of these spaces where we have LGBTQIA advocates is what we call comprehensive education, which is what is practiced currently now. So everything is age appropriate. Everything deals with what a child is supposed to theoretically be able to handle, quote unquote, which kids can handle a lot more than people think, but that's neither here nor there. So when we're talking like K through, say, probably around 5th or 6th grade, we're talking like Johnny has mom and dad. Tammy might have 2 moms. Johnny might have 2 dads. Johnny might have a trans mom and trans dad, or might have just a grandma, might just have an aunt, might just have an uncle, might just have mom, might just have dad. Same thing we're teaching them now. You just include that the fact that there are LGBTQIA people out there as well.
Okay, so it's like spreading the knowledge of there are other people besides your regular heterosexual male and females. Yes,
because like me, as a gay person, I grew up with nothing but heterosexuality being like directly front and center for your life. Like how
Disney.
Yeah, from Disney all the way up to my parents to schools themselves had, show off your family. It was always mom and dad, or it was always mom or dad. You know what I mean? Like there was never. So, and there's been a lot of studies that have shown that inclusivity and diversity in education like this, including this especially, helps not only stop a lot of bullying, it decreases bullying rates by a huge amount. It decreases self-unalivement attempts by LGBTQIA children as a result, because the bullying goes down. But also it actually raises graduation rates and grades within each grade as well, because diversity has been found to expand critical thought and bring kids into more curious stages.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I've definitely seen it with having younger siblings of my own. Even I have a best friend of about 13 years, his little sister.
Mm-hmm.
But his little sister, she's kind of like exploring her options between being lesbian and bisexual, and her parents are very supportive. Though they are Christian, they are supportive of what she does because they don't believe in putting down. To talk about point E a little bit, could you kind of go in about that? Because are you saying it's Christianity as the religion or Christianity as the people? Because if it's the people, I understand. As someone who's a Mormon and as a Catholic right now, mm-hmm. I do very much understand that throughout my time within the church, the last 10 years or say, even as a little kid, the audacity and I'd say pride. I think a lot of people pride themselves with being a Christian or a Muslim or LDS, really whatever religion. They think that they're better than one another, and mainly Jesus and Muhammad both says to basically humble yourselves because you're not better. Is that kind of what you're going on, or is it the teachings of Christianity?
To be honest, my problem is with the religion and the book club that follows it. And I use that just as a joking manner. Please don't take offense. I'm not trying to.
You're all good.
If I talk, take full offense, because that's what I intend to do.
But my problem is this: like Christianity, since it became a religion with any weight behind it, when the Romans pretty much took it over through Paul.
Yeah.
They have done nothing with it good that outweighs the immeasurable harm they've caused with it. And the Bible being able to be used to justify all of it easily does not help to show that when you read the Bible, you see that this God is all about the horrible things that Christians have done over the centuries, especially the white Christians, aka Romans on. So for about 1,500 years, it's been used to grape, oppress, appropriate, steal, slave, unalive, G-side, and erase whole cultures and societies from the Mediterranean, the Middle East, Europe, and the Western world as a whole. They decimated everything. If Christians were to keep their religion to themselves the way other religions do, and I include Muslims in this as well. If Islam and Christianity kept their religion to themselves, literally, like didn't vote using their Jesus colored goggles, if they didn't take it to schools, if they did not knock on people's front doors, if they didn't rent billboards telling people they're going to hell, like if they just had a belief and separated that from the reality to which everybody else lives in, you wouldn't hear a word out of a single atheist.
That is correct.
Could I give my own personal opinion on that?
Sure, go ahead.
So to kind of go back to the point that you made earlier, you said, especially with like the LGBTQ, just as they are people to be seen and heard, Christians, Muslims, LDS, whatever religion you are, I think deserve the same right. Though because
Can you tell that to my ancestors?
Having ancestors that are black myself, I do understand the racial...
I'm not talking about black because I'm Greco-Egyptian and Puerto Rican. Three of them were oppressed in more ways than you could even think of. So, my melanin fucking aside, can you say that to my ancestors?
No, because I don't have I'm not a time traveler, unfortunately. But what I will say is I do agree with you. The thing is a lot of people, they'll look at, let's say, the book of Exodus, Leviticus, and even Genesis, between Sodom and Gomorrah, and the 12 tribes of Israel, and stuff like that. I think a lot of that, morally now, it is very unhinged. When you look at it from today's point of view, it's disastrous.
Exactly.
Millions were killed. Children, wives, men, everyone. Everyone was killed because they didn't worship the same God.
Right.
The right God, quote unquote. Okay.
Right.
And I think that I would honestly say I wouldn't be surprised if the Bible has changed. Using the Mormons, for example, they one of the third or fourth sin ever committed in the Bible was murder. Cain killed his brother Abel. And with that, a thing called the curse of Cain got brought down. And the Mormons, Joseph Smith, got revelation from Gabriel, the messenger of God.
I'm not trying to cut you off here, but I really don't want to hear about the religion that literally thinks my skin tone is a curse.
That's where I'm getting to, okay? But mind you, information needs to be spread because I don't know if the others know about it.
No, it doesn't. I don't sit up here spreading my
people live.
polytheistic ideologies to my
I never
friends
said I
on
was
this panel.
polytheistic. I'm Catholic myself.
Okay,
I'm
good
just
for you.
saying.
Polytheism has nothing to do with Catholicism. Two completely different sects.
Would the host mind muting her just for a minute so I can
No,
get the point across?
he does mind because I'm a moderator here.
Okay. Well, I am just saying, as someone who has dark-skinned individuals, I do not agree with their polytheism, nor their remarks about the black skin color. Jesus was black.
Don't do that.
I don't.
And no, he wasn't. He was Palestinian.
That is silly.
According to the
Black.
myth and the story,
No,
he was Palestinian.
Yeah, it
What
does not
story?
even
He was born in
describe-
Bethlehem.
It doesn't
Bethlehem
even,
was in Palestine. Palestine was around, or Philistine, even during the Roman era. It was Palestine.
even the man.
Okay.
Even the man they described in the Bible was not a black man; he's a Middle Eastern man.
Acts was written well after the supposed death of Jesus, which he didn't exist, but if he did, that was literally fan fiction. Roman unalivement
Take, like,
revenge corn
the
fan
ancient sea
fiction.
scrolls have been fact checked by
The
many
Dead Sea
philosophers
Scrolls
and
have nothing
historians.
to do with Jesus. They never
Yeah.
even wrote
The
about
Dead
him
Sea
in the
Scrolls
Dead Sea Scrolls.
are only about the Old Testament. They have nothing to
The
do
Old
with the New
Testament, but if you
Canon.
look at the book of Isaiah and Psalms, the book of Isaiah does prophesize a savior coming from
It
the
doesn't.
northern star. Yes, it does.
Doesn't.
You should
And I
give
could
Do you
bring
know
a
the
couple of
Q
Jewish
number for
people
that?
in here to solidify that.
Do you know the Q number for that prophecy?
I do not. Please tell me.
I'm asking. You're
No,
you're
I-
making a claim that they're prophesying Jesus in the Dead Sea Scrolls, so that should come with a Q number with it, no?
No, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm clearing my room right now.
There's my favorite Jew. Hey, Cyber.
Hey, Simon.
I'll tell you what, though.
Hello.
What's the particular
I'm just here
prophecy
if it
you're
goes in
referring to
that
from-
direction.
What's
As
the
a Jew,
particular
What?
prophecy
you
you're
understand
referring
that
to?
you guys believe that Jesus was a false man that never died on the cross. He was never a real person. Muslims believe that he was a real man, but God would never allow him to die on the cross. And as a Catholic, I believe that he did die on the cross.
He's also Mormon too, Cyber. Have fun with that one.
I used to be. I never said I was.
Well, first of all, you got things wrong. When did Joseph Smith talk to Gabriel, or was it Angel Moroni?
It was Gabriel and Moroni. If you actually look at the book
Yeah,
of
when
Mormon,
did... Wait.
Gabriel
Can you
and
give...
Moroni led him to the secret. They led him to a cave, okay, where he found the golden templates, okay, and he had to use a seer stone that he had in a hat. Okay, I think it's very
Can you
fun.
give me the verse? Hold on. Can you give me the verse in the Doctrine and Covenants where Gabriel did any of this?
It wasn't in Doctrine and Covenants. It was the Book of Mormon, my guy.
Wait.
And if you
he's not
You think the Book of Mormon...
I'm not
Hold
here
on.
to
You
make a-
think... Well, no.
I'm not
But
here to
you
make
think
a
the Book of
point
Mormon
of
tells
to
the
justify,
story?
but I am here to
Hold
make a
on.
point
You
of
think
saying,
the Book of
would it not be
Mormon...
fair
Hold
to
on,
have
you-
people who are religious be able to spread their message?
Hold
just the
on.
way that
You
we
think
people
the
can,
Book of
or
Mormon
I can,
itself...
or any
Hold on.
can. We're
Yeah,
all
can you give me...
equal.
Can you give me
No
the
one's-
passage?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. First and foremost, later, let Cyber his question out, but I am going to go ahead and preface it that he did say he's not currently a Mormon. He's a Catholic right now. Just FYI. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
but
Cyber.
I'm also a big... Yeah, I'm also a big fan, though, as if you're not part of a faith, if you ought not misrepresent it. But where in the Book of Mormon does Gabriel tell Joseph Smith where to find the plates at?
Gabriel comes down when Joseph Smith is kind of having a hard time, so he goes and he prays, and God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus come down to him. And mind you, it was Gabriel the one that led him to that rock.
Hey, Denise.
Gabriel. Okay.
It was Moroni.
No,
it
go
was
ahead. I was
Moroni,
just saying
but
hi to
you-
somebody in chat.
Yeah, but the question is, though, right, when I told you, because the story would be found in the Doctrine and Covenants, right? But you said no,
The
it
Doctrine
wouldn't be in the
Covenants
Doctrine
was
and
used
Covenants.
for rules
You-
that they
you-
should follow.
you said-
Commandment.
You said the story would be found in the Book of Mormon. So I'm asking you, where in the Book of Mormon can you point to the scripture verse where Gabriel did these things?
I don't have a Book of Mormon on me right now, but if you'd like to, you can do the research yourself.
I have done the research. I was married to a Mormon for 8 years. I was never Mormon, but I was married to a Mormon for 8 years. So I just
Good
need
on
to know where in the scripture, in the Book of Mormon, does it say that? Because it would be actually in Joseph Smith history. It's not in the Book of Mormon or the Doctrine and Covenants. It's in Joseph Smith history,
For the Pearl
which
of
is
Great
not
Price.
part of the Book of Mormon. Yeah, it'd probably be under Pearl of Great Price or the end of Doctrine and Covenants, but it's
And what
definitely
I'd
not
say,
in the
though,
Book
man,
of Mormon.
is because you are married to someone who's religious does not mean you yourself are religious. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to be a Mormon to marry a Mormon. You don't have to be a Catholic to marry a Catholic. Yes, it does very much say so that you should be even with
But you're making positive claims, and I want you to support it.
positive. What's a positive claim, my guy?
Yeah, you said that the angel Gabriel, which Gabriel didn't, but you said the angel Gabriel gave this information to Joseph Smith. And I'm
Yes,
just asking you to
Gabriel and
support
Moroni
where that's at. Yeah, go
led
find
him.
the scripture. Go find the scripture where that's supported. That's all I'm asking. Because you're
I think you
wrong.
can. You're pretty talented. I'd say.
Well, no, it's your claim.
He's
I
also a
don't do your homework
theologian,
for
so
you.
tread lightly.
Yeah, I don't do your homework for you. You make a claim, you do your own homework for it.
No, my original claim is that the people who are religious should have the same right to
But
tell
here's the
people
thing,
about
no
what they
one's
believe.
And that's why I brought
What
up
they
my
think.
ancestors.
Hanji,
All right,
one
hold on.
second, 1 second. Here's the
As
thing, no one's
someone's
denying
ancestors who
Later,
have
Gator.
also been oppressed because they've been gay.
Later, Gator. No one is denying that you should have the right to worship as you choose. The problem with religion is that when we say, hey, you should not have the right to oppress people with your religion, you suddenly feel like somehow your rights are being infringed upon.
You can talk about your
Oppression is the
religion if
basic
people
goal.
ask, but nobody's telling you that you can't talk about your religion. We just don't want you to sit there and try to make everybody else have to follow it or listen to it if they don't want to.
Hell,
never
you don't
made
want to
that
have
claim.
to follow laws that are based on it either. The problem with religion is you try to
How does
legislate your
information
morality.
spread, though, my guy?
1 second later,
How does
Gator.
information spread?
1 second later, Gator.
You're
You
not
try to
giving
legislate.
information. You're giving your beliefs. That's not information.
You try to legislate your morality through the government so that this way your particular set of morals, whatever that may be for your sect of your religion, are what is the law of the land. And all we're saying is keep that shit to yourself, practice it at home. No one else really cares for it. You can enjoy it all you like, but stop trying to legislate your religion onto other people's lives. How is that oppressing you?
Okay, so here's the thing: is with information has to be spread from one person to another. Okay,
It's not information if it's just your belief.
the belief, science is a belief. Science cannot prove
Science
anything.
is not a belief.
Science is a belief
It's
because
not a
Okay, so ask me.
science cannot.
Go
Science
ahead.
is not like math; it cannot prove
What do you
something
think about
100%.
science as a belief? No, hold on. You're going to back that statement up. What about science as a belief?
Everything. Name one thing in life that is.
I'm going to
besides
ask you.
math.
No. You made a
Besides
positive
math.
claim. You made a positive claim. What about science as a belief?
Because everything that science tries and
They
proves
always want to be
cannot
fucking
proved.
victims.
Everything that science tries and proves what?
Science can never fully prove something because it is a theory. You make a theory, you make a
Do you not
hypothesis.
understand the difference between a scientific theory
I would like
and
to
your
say the
opinion?
courtesy of me letting you guys speak. So could I?
No,
finish my
because you
talking?
kept talking
made a
over me,
statement.
because clearly you don't like it when a pussy speaks. Go ahead, sweet.
You made a statement. So now do you understand the difference between a scientific theory and your and my just closet opinions on things, or no? You're awfully silent. Do you understand a difference between an opinion between me and you
I'm
versus a
put a muzzle
scientific
on the
theory?
puppy.
Yes, I can understand the difference.
So
And
what
I'm
makes
saying,
you think
though-
that a scientific theory isn't something that they can prove?
Prove to me your hand is real.
That has nothing to do with science.
That's
What
metaphysical
does?
nonsense.
No, it
Prove to
doesn't.
me the universe is real. Prove to me
Yet
the
again,
universe
that's
Prove
happens.
to me your God
you're
is
talking
real.
about
How about that?
philosophy.
That's what faith
Hold
comes
on,
in.
you're talking
It's
philosophy.
faith.
You're talking philosophy now, not science. Those are philosophical questions, not science questions. Science doesn't answer philosophical questions. Do you not understand the difference?
Science
doesn't.
answers the hypothesis. It's
Real
what-
quick,
What's a
can you go
hypothesis?
ahead and read the big screen real quick?
I sure
you read the
can.
big screen real
No,
quick?
the angel Moroni, not Gabriel, showed Joseph Smith where the golden plates were buried in Hill Cumorah, appearing first in 1823 and directing him to the location, though Smith couldn't retrieve them until 4 years later after following specific instructions and maturing in his faith, with Moroni eventually delivering the plates to him.
If you look, it was
So what-
two
what-
angels that led him. They believed it was
Yeah, find me that
Moroni and
scripture. If you're
Gabriel.
going to make that claim again, find the scripture.
But going back to my original point with even science is a belief system.
Not
It is.
a belief system.
It's not a
That's
belief
not
system.
how it
You can't prove
works.
anything with science.
Yes, you can.
This
Prove
okay, I'm
anything.
gonna go
Prove
ahead.
to me
Hold on,
something
stop,
right now.
stop. I'm nipping this part in the bud. I live in reality where science can prove the reality in which I live. I don't give a fuck about your 100% because you can't even prove your stance on this God even 1%.
I never
So-
said I was trying to prove them.
Right. That's my point. You sitting there saying that you should be allowed to spread your message unabashed and unrequired or unasked for is fucking gross, because nobody cares what you personally believe when you have no proof of it to begin with.
Your gender identity. How can you prove that?
Oh my god.
Hey, later getter, you ever heard of germ theory?
I have
I'm gonna
not.
remind everybody
please.
tend
hold
to
on.
live into
Just real quick. Prove.
Dugald.
Just real quick. Prove
Dugald.
something to me.
You just here goes your point.
Give me
Dugald.
100% proof
Germ
on
theory.
something.
He has no idea what germ theory is, but says science can't prove anything.
right.
We can
What's a
observe
theory?
germs under a microscope now, when years ago they actually were like, maybe it's germs making people sick. And back in his day, in Joseph Smith's day, they thought it was humors.
Right.
And yet we developed a robust scientific theory known as germ theory
Mhm.
regarding sicknesses being around germs. And the fact that you haven't heard of germ theory, were you homeschooled?
No, I actually went to a charter school for a little bit.
You went to a
I-
charter school.
You
Was
should
it
get your
religious?
money back.
Was it religious?
No, it was a straight open charter school.
And then how the
A
hell
public
did you
charter
not
school.
learn about germ theory in high school?
You learn about I learned about germ theory in middle school.
Oh, wow. So you did know what germ theory was, and then you lied to us.
No, it just wasn't on the top of my mind. It wasn't. I wasn't familiar with
It's
the
a
name.
very common theory. It's in fact, it's so easy because we
thing-
talk about being sick all the time, right?
The
People
thing is,
are always
though,
getting sick.
is
So
with
germ
science-
theory
look it
should
up
be
real
something
quick.
that you could easily
Science
recognize.
cannot
I
prove
actually went
anything.
with the easiest to recognize for you.
And evolution theory would be another good one.
Did I go
Um,
into evolution
how
or no?
come
Do you know why I
everything-
didn't talk about
but mind you,
evolution?
every
Because
single
I
topic that
didn't
we talk about
one
is a
second,
theory.
one second, one
It can't
second
be
later. You
proven.
know why I didn't say evolution? Because religious folks will deny the reality of evolution. So I went to germ theory. So good luck denying germ theory. Do you
Germ
think
theory
that's just a
can-
theory? Just
germ
some
theory can-
scientists just sat up and said, "Hey, this is my opinion on where people get sick from," or do you think that it involved
I know there's actually
experimentation?
like 3 main scientists.
Do you think that
um,
it involved experimentation?
Yeah, experimentation that can't be 100% proof. You can't have
So
100%
you don't think
proof on
germ theory
anything.
has? You don't
Hey,
think germ theory is a
religion,
proven
science,
fact?
life,
You don't
everything.
think germ theory is a proven fact?
Okay. Everybody calm down
We
for a
have-
second here.
Yeah.
Now, to cast doubt on something because it doesn't speak in absolutes is just completely like absurd to me, right? Like, yeah, science does not have 100% say in anything, right? Because science is actually like known to correct itself.
Yeah.
Now, to speak in absolutes and to speak in such like binary black and white is silly to me because we don't know. There is no way to know. So science has a method in which we can test. It's called the empirical method, or the scientific method. We can test
Yep.
things, and if we can repeat those things, then we are pretty well established on expecting that to happen again. And that's where like a theory may come in. Like a scientific theory is not just some sort of idea that somebody's bouncing around. It is tested over and over again.
Which
Now-
Yeah, it's an original idea that someone wanted to test, and other people test it. The
That's
thing
the
is with that,
hypothesis.
that's also it's part of the scientific method.
It's not
thing
the
is,
theory.
though, we really there's theories that say like this is entire simulation.
Theories and
We have to
hypotheses
live in
are
a
not
world
the
of
same
doubt
thing.
where we can't know that everything is 100% true or anything's 100%
Theories
true.
and
It could be a
hypotheses
brain
are
in a
not the
jar
same thing. Can
and
you
be
at least
stimulated
admit
by
that?
electricity.
Hold on,
It
we're
could be
still-
I was just trying to
Theories and
speak.
hypotheses
Hold on,
are not
y'all.
the same thing.
Hold on, y'all. First and foremost, no, nothing can be 100% proven, which is why we go by strong
There we go.
evidence, which is why it's not a belief system, because we have enough evidence to trust the reality of what is found to be true, as in proven beyond doubt, because it doesn't matter if it's 99% or 99.9999999%. The fact of the matter is we have enough evidence for these things, but we have literally zero for a God. So you do not get to say, I want to be able to spread my message to whoever, even if they don't want it, because you have nothing to verify your belief system, whereas we have evidence to verify the things in reality that we have tested.
Like
Also,
quantum
not a
mechanics.
butterfly dreaming to be a person.
Dugald, there's one other thing that we have if you were to erase every single bit of information about science today
It would come back
and
at
erase
some
every
point.
single religion from everyone's minds at the same time, and so you had to start over, you would
Yeah.
not have Christianity come back up in any of its forms.
Nope.
But eventually people would discover germs again. They would discover,
Electricity
telescopes
again,
and be able to look.
gravity.
Yeah, they'd rediscover the science things, right? Instead, you'd have all sorts of new people who were, they hear voices in their head inventing new religions.
You do
And
know
people
that
would start
most of
following them
those
because they're
discoveries were
susceptible to
founded
that.
by Christians.
Oh, stop.
That doesn't mean anything. We would have found it faster if it weren't for Christians, because most of the Christians that ruled over Rome, especially throughout its empire and thereafter, through the Middle Ages and onward,
Christians that run Rome
suppressed
did.
anybody who talked anything that might disprove the Bible and called them heretics. Galileo was suppressed. A lot of people were suppressed by Christianity for finding shit out in science. So just because a Christian scientist happened to do something does not mean that Christianity was the reason for it, the catalyst for it, nor does it make it correct, because we do not have a history in which Christianity did not shove itself where it did not belong. So we will not ever find out if we could have evolved faster without it.
Remember, Dugald, 1,000 years of our history was basically scientifically flat, otherwise known as the Dark Ages,
Right.
due to Catholicism.
Okay, so
About 300 years, but then we had the Renaissance.
It
Yeah.
had nothing to do with Christianity itself.
this is
It was founded by a
where
lot of
Christianity
Christians.
is harmful. I think this is what
Yeah,
Happy
poor
Jesus was
Christian,
touching on, and I think that what Dugald is touching on too, is that like with the thoughts of like Thomas Aquinas, there's this like assumption that there's this natural law, that there's these rigid sets of rules, right? Like a male and a female are needed to produce a baby, like those kind of things. When actually, with the discovery of quantum mechanics and a lot of complex, like physics,
Quantum
and-
mechanics?
yeah, just
What do you
listen
mean
up.
quantum mechanics?
That
I don't know
everything is a
He's gonna
probability.
explain if you shut up, so he
Yeah.
can
Are
explain
you talking
it.
about the 7 principles of the
I
universe?
believe I said you
Like,
can
I'll-
shut up and wait for him
So
to fucking
what
explain it.
I'm saying is that everything is probabilities, right? We have coherence, which is what is like in line with the probabilities, right? So we have decoherence when things that are improbable start happening, and we have uncertainty. That is a thing with quantum mechanics. You've probably heard of like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Now, these things they prove beyond any kind of other doubt that we don't have these rigid natural laws. So when somebody tries to bring forth something like Christianity that touts these very rigid laws, we fall into this kind of trap of where people either are abiding by these laws or they're not. But the thing is that these laws are not rigid. They're all either mostly probable or not probable. It's uncertain. So now we can like lean towards what is the most like probable of a situation, which is what science does.
It often shows itself to be accurate when it does it.
This fallible thought like method of Christianity and like natural laws is where a lot of people hinge a lot of things like homophobia or like women's roles, like gender roles, things like that, and it's where we fall apart.
Actually, all right. Later, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that? Respond to that with?
Like the whole like divinity of God's whatever, like scripture is backed up by church fathers like Aquinas with these ideas of natural laws, is what I'm trying to say. Like they're trying to ground things that are not able to be grounded.
Really quick, Minerva's been waiting and she just had one point. Later, I want to kind of give you a break for a second. Minerva, come off mute. You're over 21, correct?
Yes. No one's asked me that in a really long time, so thank you.
Oh, I didn't want him to drop. I just wanted him to mute up and take a break for a second. All right, Minerva, what did you come up to talk about?
Well, this relates to when I first came up, which is a while ago. I'm in a doctoral program, so don't worry about me. I'm doing finals right now, and for whatever reason, listening to people talk and learning things helps me concentrate. So, anyways, I've been having this thought come up, and I'm kind of stuck on it, which is that for a group of people who keep harping on not wanting males and female spaces, they considerably exert themselves socially within the social narrative into female spaces.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why they don't see the conflict there in like how to combat that type of, it's not cognitive dissonance. I don't know what the word for it is off the top of my head, but how to explain this like you would to a child, to somebody who's sort of stuck in this space. Because I have family members that are males who are sort of stuck in this ideology, and it's so obvious to me, but they can't draw the parallels. And so I'm wondering
Fucking clock it!
Well said. Well said.
Actually, hold on a second, because Minerva, if you don't mind, Jeff, if you're still in here, that guy is still in my request box. So if you and Jeff would like to actually talk to him, and Jeff, I'm only asking you because I know you're here, and because I know you do debate bros, and this guy is definitely a debate bro, and you know how frustrated I get with him. I'm curious if you guys want to ask him that question directly, because he is in my requests still, oddly enough. You don't have to. Just saying.
Wait, the gender blender guy?
Yep.
Hey, and real quick, I'm going to drop down. I was just hopping up mainly for the Isaiah verses.
Oh, I appreciate
Which
you,
he
Cyber.
didn't have. Thank you, Cyber.
Yeah, thank you, Cyber. I appreciate you, friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, I show him still being in my guest requests. Jeff might not still be in here.
Tiny said he'll do it.
I only see a Ben in your guest request.
Huh, I wonder why he's still showing in here, though.
Yours might be showing because it's live studio. I don't know. How. Oh, well, is this going to work?
I don't know if he's still here or not. He's been in there this whole time. Because that's kind of what we were touching on before, Minerva, as well, is that we were kind of like, why is he speaking that? And that's kind of why I dropped him, is I was pretty much, I saw the women in my chat who were like, why is he speaking on women?
Yeah, I had a whole live, I was not a whole live, but I was watching a live just previous to getting onto this one where it was a male host talking about abortion rights, and he was kind of getting roasted by this, like, I swear she was just this little 18-year-old girl but he just kept talking over her and, you know, shoving his foot in his mouth and yelling, and it's like, I feel like these people don't have the mental capacity to understand, like, you're being hypocritical because you're doing that exact thing that is the criterion for how you're debating this other thing.
Right.
It's like...
Well, he didn't accept the invite to come back. When I accepted his request, I guess it didn't pop up for him, so he must have left the live after all. But we do have Ben here. Ben, are you over 21?
Yes.
Perfect. And what topic did you come up for?
I wanted to talk about MAGA caters to white supremacy and hates minorities.
Okay. What did you want to say about it?
Did you not listen to the TPUSA conference that
No, I actually
just
agree with it. No, I agree with the problem.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of want to go down one by one if that's cool. Just kind of touch on it if that's cool with you guys.
That's fine. But really quick before I do, Tiny and Minerva, since he didn't accept my request, neither one of you have to stay if you don't want to, but you are welcome to hang out for a little bit if you want.
Hanji, are you Greek? Okay. Milas el nika.
Malaka.
So I really only disagree with, I'd say, I'd say one thing on here, that Christianity is harmful. As Hanji knows, Orthodoxy is a big part in Greek culture and in around the world. But
never practiced it.
Really quick.
okay, that's
Hold on.
fine. You know what I mean.
Ben, I'm
that's
so
fine.
sorry to interrupt you. Ben, really quick
yeah.
though. Hanji,
Sure.
where did Happy Jesus go?
Sweet Happy Jesus said that he's gonna be with Fluff for 30 minutes, so he'll be back.
All right, I gotcha. I was just like, I just realized he wasn't there no more. I was like, what the hell happened? All right, go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yes, he is correct. Orthodoxy is the prominent. It's going down in numbers, but it's still the prominent. In our country.
Yeah. So I just want to, that's really the only thing I would say I disagree with on the prompt. I agree with the uterus. You shouldn't say, if you don't have one. I agree with everything else, systematic racism and everything. But I'm just, confused on how Christianity is harmful. Okay. I just want to see what you have to say about it.
Okay. My personal take based on what I've read, like I've read the Bible and I've read a lot of history about the religion and all of its predecessors from the polytheistic religion that it all sprang from to the to Islam even. Looking at the history of Christianity in and of itself from its inception, probably about 3 to 500 years after the supposed Jesus lived, has done a lot of harm. It has done everything from grape, schmurder, G-side, appropriation, theft, enslavement, wiping out of whole cultures and societies, basically colonizing the entire world and causing a lot of harm while it's done so. And it's done that since the beginning all the way up into and including what it does now, which is still very harmful. And the fact that it can use its doctrine, its text to justify those things easily. Reading the Bible, I see that the God is all about those very things that Christianity has done over the centuries.
Sure. So what part of the Bible, promotes violence, or is there any specific verse you want to bring up?
Well, I can just give you examples from, and you're free to read them at your leisure. But any of the ites of the Bible, so the Amalekites, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the meteorites, the Pedialites,
the meteorites,
any ites you can think of in the Old Testament, the
Jebusites,
any of them. God sent the Israelites to schmurder, grape, enslave, and appropriate and colonize them.
I'll put it to you simply, Ben. Deuteronomy all the way to 2 Samuel. Just that alone. Those books.
Yeah, pretty good. He's commanded the grape, or not commanded, but set up the grape of David's wives so that they would be the punishment for David, which how they're being punished or why they're being punished seems to always elude Christians in the narrative. It's always about what David's going through. Never mind the fact that God set up that those women would be raped. There's situations of complete chattel slavery, highly permissible. Unaliving women who cannot help a biological function that your God, who should know about the female anatomy, doesn't happen a lot. So a lot of women were unalived for no reason. It's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
And like the way that I try and word it is like, in a fundamental way, like Christian thought, I think is harmful. Like it focuses on like deontology, which is like an adherence to rules. And like I was saying, like these natural laws, like Aquinas was talking about, it's trying to make an is into an ought, because now we're trying to base morals off of these like is statements, and that is just like harmful, if you ask me, because now people are trying to say things like, using like contraception is like a really good idea, or like opposing contraception is like a good idea, like Christianity, like, or like to a Catholic, whereas it's not a good idea when you look at the consequences of things, because you might have children that come into poverty. You know, you might have unwanted pregnancies. There's a lot of things that come into play where this like line of thought of like, you know, we have to have these like strict rules, and if you follow these rules, then you're doing everything right, when you're not looking at like the whole picture.
Okay, but Benny, have you met a proper Orthodox Christian? And Hanji, I know you know.
Lots.
Have you met an Orthodox monk before? I mean, those are like pure examples of
The
true
monks,
Christians.
yes, but a proper outside.
Okay, but
No, I don't think I've ever like.
Yeah, DSC
Oh,
said
no,
Eleni
not
that
that
said
kind of
he's-
orthodoxy. Sorry, no, my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, but because Hanji knows, like, a monk is a true example of a proper Christian, right? So, like, for example, we Christians have gone through a lot, and Hanji knows this too as a Greek, that we were enslaved by the Ottomans for over 500 years due to us being Christians. And she,
Why do you think I always come after Turkey in this fucking platform?
Yep. But you know, I don't think Christianity is harmful. I think the people who don't follow the Bible, the New Testament correctly, is what provides a bad image for Christians,
Well,
right?
They're not. They are following the New Testament, though. Like, that's my point. The Old Testament's just where the examples of the violence comes from. So there's two reasons why I say that. Number one is that if you're a Trinitarian, that it's the same God no matter what, right? And it doesn't
The Holy
matter-
Trinity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same God whether you're looking at the one aspect of him or not. It's still the same.
Sure.
God.
Yeah.
So he still made and commanded those things, and he already threatened through Jesus to come back and do it again when Jesus returns for his third or fourth return. Are we on?
Oh, so that would be a second return.
Well,
His first was dying on the cross for our sins, and the second return is to come back to judge. Yes.
That's debatable. But the point of the matter is that he said he's going to bring the sword. He's going to bring fire. He's going to bring you all along with him as his holy warriors to do more harm, the same type of harm on people. The other thing of it is, Jesus himself said, obey your masters. He never said abolish it. Jesus was a xenophobe as all get out. He was an Israelite supremacist. He did not like other races. Anytime that or any other ethnic groups, because anytime that another ethnic group comes to him, he degrades them and then makes them beg before he helps them. And he never gives them salvation despite their faith. He only heals them after they have done and demeaned themselves before him. As a result, he has constantly said multiple times that he only came for the lost, the sheep of Israel. He did not come for anybody else. Paul's the one who changed that shit on y'all. Paul's the one who contradicts Jesus. Jesus himself never once said a thing about wanting Gentiles anywhere near him. He despised them. And the word dog back then that he called people that were not Israelites, that was a slur then. That was the equivalent of the N-word now to a black person, or the F slur to
It's
a gay
still a
person.
slur to this
It's
day.
a slur.
It's still a slur to this day.
Right. So like the fact that everybody paints Jesus as this wonderful, loving person, he was loving to his own, not to anybody else.
I mean, absolutely not. So, you know, you want to talk about the Jews, right? I mean, Jesus said multiple times that the Jews are evil. Even the New Testament, if you read
He
about
was
it,
a Jew.
he talks. That doesn't mean anything. I know he was a Jew. I know. You know, he was a Middle Eastern ethnic Jew. We know.
And
but,
he was fine with the Jews that followed him.
Well, and multiple times in the Bible, he says that if you trust in the Lord, you will be rewarded, right? So
He didn't hate the Jews. He was mad at them for being Pharisees, for not following all
right.
of the law, which is also a thing you all are supposed to be doing.
Right. But Dugald, I'm not here to argue the Bible with you. The whole reason I came on here is just to prove to you that not every single Christian is gonna, you know, come on here hatefully.
No,
and you know,
they don't. You're right.
You know what I
agree with
mean?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
and as you just saw, I agree with you on a lot of things on the prompt. You know what I mean? But that's why I came on here, is just to prove to you that we're not all, you know.
On the last point, though, this is what I'll leave you with. To be
Okay.
quite honest, I genuinely could care less about this Jesus or about God, because I don't believe in him. I just
Sure,
like,
that's fair.
And here's the thing, and just like and no offense, Hanji, you know this about me, I don't care about Zeus either. I love the stories, I do, but I don't.
I promise you, Zeus Diaz does not give a fuck.
I know. But my point is, like, if Christians treated their, and I'm going to extend this to Islam as well, since they're just as colonizing. If Christians and Islam left their religion to themselves and stopped voting with it, like other religions don't do it to do that, if they would stop interacting with people who don't believe with it, if they would stop knocking on people's doors, renting billboards, threatening people with hell that have nothing to do with it, like if y'all just kept it to yourself, like everybody else with a religion does, you wouldn't hear a word from anybody, including atheists, because we would not give a shit. We don't give a shit. You'd hear about us just for debate's sake, like some people do, of course. But like,
sure,
as big as atheism talks and advocates about this, it's because there's real world repercussions to having to deal with you all carrying your belief and using it like the cudgel that you do. And I'm not saying you specifically, but
sure, I got you, and I understand that. You know, I'm not disagreeing with you or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, we'd be surprised on a lot we agree on. But yeah, I just want to come on here and just say that, and I appreciate you for being, you know, being cool and listening and everything. I'll hang out in the comments and everything. But you guys all have a blessed day. Hanji harika poli na isakala. Adaya. Yeah. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.
Ben, you're welcome to come back up sometime. It was nice talking to you. There are days like I might switch it up a little bit later and do straight up just deconstruction topics, but like because I made a background and everything for it, it's just not as usually the grabber for me as it is for other deconstruction creators. So I got to keep the politics with me usually. But I can switch to that later. So if I do, Ben, you're welcome to come up and debate one of the topics that I have for that too.
Yes. Thank you, Ben, for being a good Ben out there. There's not very many. I mean, most Bens I know.
Hey, listen, I told you guys, if I had to fucking choose, I would choose orthodoxy because it's more philosophical than anything. And a lot of them don't really go by the book.
Well, the fact that he agreed with everything up until it makes me think that I'd probably be on that same path as Anji if I had to make a choice, but thank goodness I don't have to because no thank you.
Yeah, there's a divide in like Christians. I would say it's like the reformist type of Christian versus like the Catholic, like the older Catholic or Orthodox, where the reformist thinks, sola scriptura or whatever they call it, where the Bible is just everything, whereas those guys, they'll lean on the Pope or church fathers to kind of be more philosophical with it.
Yeah, I agree with
Can
that.
I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Tiny. What's going on, friend?
So, I was talking to our friend Rav Kavad, Rabbi Bert, and he said that there's a difference between, like when a Christian child comes home, the moms or the parents going to ask them, like, what kind of questions did they ask you today? What did you learn? And then a Jewish mother or a Jewish parent is going to say, when the child comes home, what kind of questions did you ask the teacher or the rabbi today? And I think that that's like a stark difference. And it makes you think, like,
well put. I like that.
Yeah. Like if you're not asking questions, what are you really doing?
It's true.
Yeah. I think that's
born from asking questions. And here's the thing. I think no matter what, whether you have a faith in something or not, critical thought is super important. And I'm finding here, especially in America right now, Christianity is stifling critical thought beyond anything, because most of our population is illiterate. Most of our population, and I'm not saying that to be cruel, I'm saying that legitimately, statistically, we are a very illiterate country. There's not enough critical thought taught anymore, and it's a lot of just fall in line, which is why the right and the left clash so hard, I think, especially now, is because the right no longer has any type of inroad anywhere. It's a cut and dry, this is what the fuck it is, and we're not going to deviate from it. And a lot of that has to do with Christianity, because that's primarily what dominates our right side right now. And that they've stifled this shit. They've stifled the hell out of it.
I think the argument could be made that just the way that Jesus is written in the New Testament, by
I'll be back.
By this like focus on salvation and judgment and eternal punishment, burning, that there's a lot of like axiomatically just like fundamental things that are just built into that will mess with how you view the world and other people.
Right.
And just like how Tiny was just saying, like, they ask you like, what questions did the teacher ask you versus what questions did you ask the teacher, when comparing, like Christianity to like say Judaism, that can be like shown just like in the idea of original sin. Like in the Jewish faith, the way that I've understood it is that you have a sin nature. You don't have this like original sin that Eve has cursed everybody with, as they try to put it, that you actually have to like overcome the sin nature because you also have a good, like the like nature to be good too. Right. Whereas Christians believe, you're just guilty from the get-go. You have this original sin that you have to be saved for. And that really hinges a lot of, like how people develop, I think, like intellectually and psychologically.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, y'all, we don't have any Christians or MAGA Christians to talk to. Minerva, you said you had another thought. I just saw that. Go ahead. Just chime in when you have one, by the way. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. I just want to make sure I'm not interrupting anything. But I guess two things. I was wondering if anyone's ever read the book Secrets of the Talking Jaguar. Anybody knows what that book is? No. There's a pretty prevalent running theme in it about how indigenous cultures typically disseminate information as you're growing up in a very specific pattern based off of your brain development. And then I was also like basically giving kids what they're ready for, or even young adults, or even midlife. The elders kind of pass things down in a formulaic way that the brain can digest. And I was thinking about that relationship to this debate over teaching about LGBTQIA types of information in school, and like the upheaval in Christian communities. And while I do understand that there has to be balance with everything and that kids should have information disseminated at the appropriate rate, I also recognize that the amount of information that children are going to be inundated with just already from social media, shouldn't they have safe role models and teachers and adults to go to with that information? And so I feel like if you at least open the conversation, then that's going to benefit your child in the long run as they try to wrestle with this vast amount of information that's out there. Because their whole thing is like, oh, you're going to influence kids to think a certain way and be in a certain way. And it's like, that's not happening in school. That's happening on social media with it runs the gambit from every type of influence you can imagine. So it's also just interesting to me, the thinking there, like the very myopic thinking there, because it's like, do they not understand how much their child is going to be exposed to before they're ready for it, and how damaging that's going to be on all levels?
Right. Well, I made the point earlier. I said that studies have been finding that when you include things like diversity of any kind, especially when you include LGBTQIA topics, younger, like, Johnny has two dads and all this kind of stuff. When you include people like that, it does reduce bullying rates, obviously, which reduces unalivement rates for children who are affected by said bullying. But also it's shown to increase their graduation rates and their grades and things in a positive, because they're realizing that stuff like this, like adding these types of things and showing the differences in people, opens up critical thought, and critical thought leads to higher and better educational outcomes.
Absolutely.
I agree. And like, I would say that school is not just a place to just be academically enriched, right?
No,
like I think when I was in school, we had like social skills classes.
Yeah.
We would talk about our feelings and stuff. Like we would try and learn things like that were kind of more, I don't know, like was it inherent? That aren't like really explicitly like just something you could write down into a textbook, right? So like dynamics of how groups work or how, you know, people interact, I think is a very big part of what going to school is about. And I think that we're missing that a little bit.
Absolutely. You definitely see the lack in soft skills of a lot of people now entering the workforce because so much, I feel like some of it is due to censorship, and I don't have any data to back that up. It's just kind of my personal perspective.
Critical thought suppression, but also empathy suppression is another major issue in our society. These things are inherent to us, and if we don't exercise them, just like anything, we lose it. Empathy and critical thought both. So that the empathy part is what we're missing in that respect, I'm noticing.
Absolutely. I mean, we're being run by a people who don't exhibit a whole lot of empathy.
None. We're either sociopaths or psychopaths in some degree, and we're sitting here stuck with everybody just saying "fuck you, I don't care." It's like, well,
yeah, it can be overwhelming. I mean, just even on TikTok, the amount of times it's teaching me to be less sensitive because the amount of times I've been yelled at for literally breathing on a live is crazy. And people assume so many things about you that aren't true. And their narrative cannot be shaken. You know, you can tell them like, I'm not on food stamps, and they'll still be like, go pick up your EBT. And it's like, okay, well, you did. Okay, all right. Okay.
like,
all right, then.
Like, I love it when they do that to me because I'm like, I own a house. I have my
Yeah.
own house. Like, what
Or
are you
like,
talking
you're
about?
so uneducated. I'm like, I'm in a doctoral program. Yes, what I'm studying is specific, but I clearly have the capacity for critical thinking. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to be here.
I get like the most racists and the most schnazis and the most bigots in my lives typically. Those are the ones I get the most.
That's true.
A lot of
You did.
schnazis.
I've seen all of those.
Yeah, every one of them I get at least once or twice alive. And some of them hide it for a little while until I force it out of them by either provoking or something. Then all of a sudden it comes right the fuck out. It's like Ariel's seen it quite often too, especially since she's been one of my mods and co-hosts for last several months. Pretty tried and true for the most part. Like she's seen a lot of it too. It gets pretty ugly.
Yeah, it's
Very wild.
pretty ugly. I had a thought, but it just kind of floated out of my brain. Sorry.
Ariel, really quick, what did you say I missed in the comments? What did I miss?
I said, not he and her acting like me, because the way, look, I sent this and I said, I know damn well you didn't just miss the little cat. Please.
I did miss it.
Please. I missed all the gifts in my life. And I was like, nah, it's rubbing off. Y'all got to pay attention.
I was not looking at all. Not even. I'm so sorry. Thank you, my dear. Oh, but
It's
yeah.
okay. It's so cute.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I'm trying to get, the problem is empathy being as dead as it is. I don't know when empathy can be. Is there a point of no return for somebody's empathy that you just can't get it back because it's just too far gone or not been used in a person? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, neurons that fire together wire together. So, I mean, it's an actual mental illness at that point because it's causing dysfunction in their social functioning. And so I think all of these parasocial relationships are really highlighting the people that have some very serious functional deficiencies in their brain because they've had certain things just wire together and they're not actively trying to exercise their brain's plasticity and they don't want to. So that desire sort of has to be there in order for them to elicit any kind of, or anyone to elicit any kind of change in them. So sometimes I think it is just best for your guys' own like well-being, to just ignore a lot of these people. I'm not saying they're lost causes. I think conversation will help them wire a little bit differently, even if they are screaming in your face. But just know that as a person who's been a healer and a caretaker and a mother, that you can get vicarious trauma from your jobs. I was a sign language interpreter for 10 years, and a big portion of our professionalism courses were on vicarious trauma, because you might not see what you're doing by hosting these lives as a type of social what is the word I'm looking for? The people who go out and help the community, like as being a social worker, but that's essentially what you are. You're holding space for people with really big emotions, and their only outlet sometimes is your live, and then you are having to sit there and receive that. And so I have to kind of balance it myself. I'm like, okay, I'm on lives because it helps me concentrate. And I also am pretty isolated because I'm working 50 hours a week on my doctoral program. I need somebody to talk to, just to kind of maintain my own soft skills. But yeah, I think being aware as you do this, that,
I am.
It's hard.
It is. I take breaks when I need to, but honestly, hearing the bad ones actually fuels me. It doesn't. Some days it gets a little wearing, but I'm usually right back to it soon after, because it doesn't bother me. It actually gets me excited because I'm showing where this thinking is. You know what I mean? So that part makes me happy. So that I can, even if it's not that person, at least somebody in the chat might be seeing it and going, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, TikTok is the biggest social experiment that has ever been conducted.
I thought Facebook was bad, but this one, woo.
This is way worse. This is, exponentially worse.
Yeah, I will definitely be adding social worker to my bio, just so y'all know. I don't want any questions.
I mean, you have real life skills from interacting with all types of people. This absolutely is translatable for sure.
I love it. All right, Muglin, are you over 21?
Yeah, dude. Hey, I'm the guy that I think I came in a couple weeks ago. Somebody paid to kick me.
All right.
I can remember that.
Well, you're welcome back up. So go ahead and pick your topic and let's start a new convo.
All right. Well, to be honest, I was just kind of interested in the total, like, just everything that you guys were speaking about,
Okay.
And I just felt like I might want to jump in when I feel the moment's right. The thing is, I don't really, there's certain things I disagree with but it's more like I don't really disagree. It's like I would add something to it, to the prompt, if that makes sense.
What would you
It's
add?
just like,
Let's go with that.
so
Let's
like,
go with that.
okay. So, you might remember who I am when I bring this one up, but it would be C, prompt C.
Okay.
And I would say that if no uterus means that you shouldn't have a say, then there should be an out also for the males.
Well, the out for the males would be mandatory vasectomies at the age of 12 that are reversible, so that when they are ready to have children, then they could, and there would be no abortions at all.
No, because the thing is, the children's already been conceived by the two people, so that would be preventative. Whereas the what do we say on TikTok instead of the word?
Oh,
AB.
just AB. That's fine.
AB. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the AB is after the fact. So what I mean is there should be an out for the man after the fact.
Men really do
Seahorse
have an out,
births.
though. Men have an out, though.
In what way?
Men can walk the fuck out. I mean, we've heard the story a million times. He went out for milk and never came back. Like, men disappear from lives all the time.
Correct me if I'm speaking out of turn, but I think that until a man has to bring a child physically to term, like as a woman would, then you just don't have a say. It's not your body, right?
No, I get it, but that's not what I'm not saying that they should have the AB rights taken away,
His caveat
that's what I was saying
is
last
just that
time.
there should be an equal footing for the man in the pregnancy when it comes to if she decides to keep it. If he decides
Yeah, and I
he
mean
doesn't want to be
legally.
in it. But my point is that men do have that out. They don't have to be part of it. The woman there's a lot of women out there who don't even go after child support.
Yeah, I know,
They
but they
just
could if they want to, and the man can't
yeah.
stop it. So
Well,
the man
that's
doesn't have an out, and it's up to the woman
That's
again.
not necessarily true. There's times where the woman and the man signs away his parental rights so that he doesn't have necessarily, depending on the state, doesn't have to pay it. There are all kinds of solutions in there.
Yeah, but then another man has to step up, or the
Doesn't
woman
have
has to
to.
find someone else.
No, they don't.
No, they
What are you
don't.
talking about?
Women raise
And
their
I-
children all by themselves all the time.
Mulan or host, can I interject really
Yeah,
quickly?
absolutely.
I think it's fair for a man to have some kind of ability to fight, and they do, for you to keep your child. That's fine. That's well within your rights. But I think that man should have to take a very in-depth course on pregnancy, because have you ever choked on your own vomit? Woke up choking on your own vomit? Because I have, and that's something that's really common in pregnancy. It's a life or death situation. So I would ask you, maybe in the exercise of empathy, to also flip this on yourself, okay? So if you had made a mutual decision with someone to do something, but then you realized in that decision-making process that your life was at risk and you wanted to back out, would you still want them to have the right to try to fight you on that and possibly win?
Well, no, I'm not saying that the man should be able to stop the woman from having the AB. That's the thing.
Yeah,
You're just saying if she's keeping. Okay.
Yeah,
he's saying
like
if she decides again, without talking to him or without his opinions being in the mix, she decides to go ahead and have the kid, but then sues him for child support, basically.
Yeah, I believe the man should be able to be immune to that and it should be very easy.
I mean, if you're going to take care of the child in your own way, that's what a custody battle is, though, right?
No, but I don't even mean the custody battle.
He's saying he wants the man to be able to walk away from the child, just like a woman who has an AB is what he's claiming. That's the same. He's basically saying if the woman makes the decision to have it, but he doesn't want it, then he should be allowed to say no, thank you, and walk away from it altogether.
Yeah, with no legal repercussion whatsoever.
It still feels unequivocal to me. I don't know. It feels like
I mean, are you going to pay her for the pain of pregnancy and labor?
But would she, let's a hypothetical situation. Let's say that I was with the person and I was basically their caretaker. I paid for all of their things. I paid for their living, their food, their clothes, everything for multiple years. And they never paid me anything, other than, I guess, our relationship, whatever you would say that's worth. Don't think you could really count that, monetarily. I don't think you could add that up. But would the woman then, pay me back for all of that stuff? And then we could decide okay, whatever the pain of the birth and everything, because the thing is she's deciding to go through with it. That's the whole thing. It's the pain of the birth and everything. After it's her decision to go through with it, then it doesn't fall back on me.
I think that's a civil court thing, to be honest with
Well,
you.
That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be.
Well, but that's what I'm saying though, is it can be, because it should be only because there are situations where men have said, yes, let's have a baby, and then walk away. So
That's true.
there are situations, so it should be civilly settled, but men do have the option to not be part of it, even monetarily, because state by state the laws are different. But also on top of that, a lawyer can show you that men are not always held responsible, just because judges will look at the fact that if he said from beginning he didn't want a child, but you decided you did, but you all they have things that are in
the
there.
woman, right? But the woman has the ability to back out almost at any point, right? Until the child is born.
I think the problem, Muglin, is when we talk about this stuff with people who are pro-life, especially, or any variation thereof, they're not taking into account that at a certain point, a woman is usually like attached to that baby. Like there's at some point the option of just getting rid of it without a medically necessary reason is almost non-existent in most women after they get to a certain point in the pregnancy. I'm not saying that's going to be true in every single case. There's no such thing as a universal for anything, but on average, a woman is not going to, nor is probably even capable biologically to even just say, I want to be done now.
Yeah, I agree to that.
So can I ask if you're like in this situation, or you're asking on behalf of someone in this situation?
No. To be honest with you,
I remember our
whenever
conversation
I joined-
vaguely. It's just something he's always held. That was
it's something. Yeah, it's from a personal experience that I don't want to bring up again, because when I brought it up last time, I ended up being accused by multiple people in the chat. And to be honest with you, like, I'm not a very fragile person. I've been through a lot of things. I'm not trying to appeal to anybody's emotions right now by any means. Like, I don't want sympathy as far as like debating goes.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have been in a very many life or death situations, and I've lost a lot of people at a young age, and I've been in a situation where I had to deal with this, and it messed me up pretty badly. And so it's just something that I'm an intellectual. I don't like to make claims about myself, because I know that it's not. I'm trying to say that I do a lot of self-reflection.
I just wanted to know if it was hypothetical or not. So maybe I should have phrased the question that way, because, if it is, sometimes a bit of education goes a long way, like how receiving assistance works and how child support works. I know this from personal experience a long time ago, and I'm really on good terms with the father of my daughter now. I'm married now with another child, but so it's kind of complicated, right? Because on one hand, they can't take money from you that you don't have, so they can garnish wages, definitely. But if you can prove that you don't have an income or a certain amount of income, then they can't take what you don't have. And then on the other hand, it's interesting because the mother can't get state support for herself and her child without the state going after the father for child support, which also puts the mother in a situation where she might not even want to want that. But she has to in order to get other forms of support. So it's this weird catch-22 situation.
That's the part that I'm saying I disagree with heavily.
Yeah.
And that's not under her control, unfortunately, if she does actually need the support. And so then it's kind of neither of yours fault. It's just the structure of the system.
Trust me when I tell you, like, when I entertain any type of intellectual debate, it's I'm truly a truth seeker. Like, I don't hold on to my views like with a clenched fist and just like march through life like trying to do essentially what like Christian apologetics will do, but like for everything that I believe, because I mean that's what I think that's the issue we have really going on in the world anyway. But yeah, I'm not upset at the woman in any way. I'm actually upset at the system.
Yeah, and I get that. Listen, I'm not sitting here saying on blanket men should always have to pay for it, because I understand that there are times where a woman may not want a pregnancy, but a man does, and vice versa. So those things I've always been like, let the two people work that part out on their own, or let the systems, however they may be right now, work it out. But we can advocate to make things better in some way or shape or form or another. But ultimately, when it comes down to the pregnancy, one way or the other, even regardless of what the man wants, right? It's never going to change the fact that the woman themselves is always going to be the decider and should not have to take the other person into account when it comes to that, because of how it happens. If it were just, she she lays the egg, like, that would be different.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be different because maybe that's not as
Or
traumatic.
if we were like seahorses, and she could just pass it on.
Right,
to
and the
us.
male's the one who does it. That, like Benny talks about. If the situation would be different, but because this is like a literal, and I'm sorry, I know people get upset when I say it, but it's literally like the alien parasite. Literally, it's a whole other being inside of your body using every resource that your body has for itself, not for you, for itself, until it is able to be born on its, or be born and survive on its own resources at that point, or external resources like everybody has. This idea that it should garner some type of special treatment over the person who's already here, it just always has been a crazy thing to me. And that's why I say, if you aren't going to go through it, I don't think you should have a say. Have all the opinions you want all day long, have all the opinions you want, but you shouldn't have an actual say in what they do. Now, the after effects smuggling, sure, probably could use some work in some areas, and especially when it comes to equality on that kind of thing. Maybe there should be.
Because
I don't know. It just depends on the situation. I'm going to say
just the situation of the whole, like, because it's like that in the state I live. You have to go after the male for the child support before you can get anything else. They force it. And even that alone, actually, I think really hurts the relationship between men and women.
Sometimes I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Muglin, sometimes I think that might be by state, because I know people who've given up parental rights and weren't able to have to go, like, you know what I mean? So I think it just depends on the system, but I do agree. Maybe it should be more unilateral. Maybe it should be more fair across the board, or something along those lines. Maybe.
I think so, because I disagreed with, when they overturned Roe v. Wade, I disagreed with that. And then the argument from everybody that I heard was, oh, well, then you can just move to another state. And I'm like, that's just the most unrealistic shit that I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's usually a boomer who says that, because those are the ones who used to have money to be able to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, they have a vacation home.
Right. These are the people who grew up, who were in the workforce when they had pensions and things
when you could work for $20 an hour, have 2 cars, a house, and your wife didn't need to work. Yeah,
exactly. So oftentimes I don't really take what they say into account at all, because they're usually clueless on this shit.
They are, and they drive me absolutely insane.
Me too.
More than anybody.
I've had more than enough arguments with my parents because they don't understand why me, as an older millennial, born in 82, has a problem by not having a retirement and not having money in the bank. I'm like, because every fucking time I make more money, somebody fucks up the economy.
Yep.
And then I get fucked even harder. Or something comes up before I put up the money to do anything. It's like, they don't get it. And I understand.
They don't get it. I've had the same arguments. Trust me, man. I feel that pain probably on a deeper...
It tries me. I get it. But no, maybe there should be something different on the receiving end. But I think ultimately you agree on the decision should always be up to her. I think we agree.
Yeah, I agree on that. I agree on that. But I also do think another caveat for me is that, so I like to try to separate like legal things from, I guess you would say, sometimes I think what might be morally just still shouldn't be forced through legal action, is what I'm trying to say.
Sometimes, because not every, I think I understand what you're saying. You're talking about things like this nature, this AB. Like, I'm a huge proponent. I think you might have even heard me say it before. Like, I don't think there should be any legislation about a woman's body or anybody's bodily autonomy in any way, shape, or form.
I agree with that 100%.
I don't think there should be any type of government say so in any way, shape, or form, especially not through a law. So personally, I don't think
full autonomy.
There should have ever been a Roe v. Wade. I don't think there ever should have been a legislation saying a woman can or cannot do anything. I think it should just be, as it was before, up to her and her alone. And, well, maybe the people she wants to include in the decision. But beyond that, no. Like, the fact that there's any legislation, but that goes for me when it comes to trans people. That's when it like all of these things, like anytime a person does not have full autonomy, no matter what the situation, I have problems.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to lean heavily libertarian in a lot of my views, other than like practical things like having a driver's license. You know what I mean?
Right. Obviously, that's good. Some libertarians, I think, are
That sounds like a real libertarian.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're,
some of
there's a
y'all
lot of
sound
people
like
that
you
call
want,
themselves it.
Yeah, some of y'all sound like you want the whole Wild West to come back. Like,
Oh, a lot of them do. No. A lot of them really do. But the thing is, they think they do. They think they're ready for feudalism
until they're
and
held
I'm
at
like,
gunpoint and they don't get their land
I'm
anymore.
just exactly. And to be honest with you, I have where I grew up. There's certain areas of this place we live that I would say feudalism is already a thing. And I've lived through that directly. And so when I talk to people about that, to libertarians, and I hear them speaking, and they're like from some small town in Ohio, and I'm just like, man, if you only knew what 20 years ago me and my friends would do to you the moment they took away every single protection you have from the law, you would not want anything that you want. And I guarantee that.
Yep.
You know, like,
that's my point. They want it until somebody shows up with a pew pew aimed at them and tells them to get off
right.
the
And says,
land,
yeah,
and
this is mine now.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Right up until that point.
Did you ever hear that story about the city that they were trying to go like full libertarian? Was it in Ohio? Well, it was somewhere.
So
it was in like
ironic
Vermont
it
or
was.
New Hampshire, actually, I think. And they ended up like, because nobody wanted to like create a system for garbage, that they were all just kind of left to their own devices, and it attracted bears into their town. And they couldn't like agree on what to do about the bears because everybody wanted to do it. Some people wanted to feed the bears. Some people wanted to, unalive the bears. They couldn't like agree on anything. And it just like made the whole thing collapse.
You don't feed the bears.
I don't know when anyone's going to learn that, or the wild animals at all. Like here where I'm from, you'll probably know, but you shouldn't feed the gators. Like, why are you feeding these things? You know they're going to come back, right? And when you don't have food this time, you're the food. How is this? Yeah, how is that even? You know what I mean? Like, why is that complicated?
That's why there's videos of people who have like jaguars for pets. I'm like, it's going to eat your face one day, right?
Yeah, it's just waiting. It's watching you. It thinks you're like preparing yourself to be a meal. It's watching you eat like, yeah, that's good. More berries. I like
don't
the berries.
care if you had that thing from a cub or not. It is going to eat you at some point.
100%.
Don't care.
100%.
All right, y'all. Numbers have dropped dramatically on YouTube and here. I think I'm going to restart and do deconstruction only topics. So
that's fire.
I made a new background today for that anyway, so I figure I might as well. So let me do a restart, come right back, like 10 seconds, and we'll have some deconstruction stuff to look at. See y'all in just a few.
About God.
Natural theology there.
worries. I did a restart so we can do deconstruction only because numbers had dropped dramatically, both YouTube and over here. So
Okay.
I figured I'll switch topics and do deconstruction because 'tis the season and all.
No, you know.
'Tis the happy fucking Merry Christmas season.
Plus, everyone else is doing debate lives right now anyway. This is more of like a chill spot. Plus, I like this background better.
You don't have to look at Orange Man's ugly face.
Or have to deal with his fucking cult following.
That too. Not that we had a lot of that tonight.
Yeah.
Not that it was too bad.
You know, I know you guys don't understand Greek, but you know, Ben threw in a little, maybe I'll come around into Orthodoxy one day. No, darling.
You're like, nope. Nope.
You're a sweetheart, but not happening.
Oh, you don't want to be an Orthodox Christian?
No. Because let me tell you something. Don't get me wrong, I love my men. I really do. My Greek men. Orthodoxy can't even fucking save them from keeping their shit, you know, in their pants.
I was going to say, I love me some Greek men too, but there's reasons for that.
There's some hoes. Love them, but there's some hoes.
And I'm okay with it because I was a hoe too. I told you, I'm a retired hoe.
I know that's right.
Once a hoe, always.
I said retired. I didn't say I wasn't still one. I just said I'm retired.
Baby, you up there in the hoe zone lair.
Oh, so there is crazy.
Don't start drinking haterade now. I don't need none of that.
Damn. The girls are fighting.
Listen, I could be a retired hoe and be okay with it or I am actually, because I've had more than my fair share. Let's just put it that way.
I'm all about it. Whatever. I mean, I don't think that we should really even like quantify it. Like, I don't think people should even keep count.
That's
is what
just
I'm trying to say.
I lost count once I hit triple digits.
You're in the triple digits?
See, I don't even know. I might be.
I absolutely am. And I lost track a long time ago.
No, this makes me feel better because I talk a lot of shit. But 6 for me, what the fuck? Two of them were one-night stands, you know.
Does like being in the same room count? You know, like, because
no, I'm talking like it's been in me in some fashion.
Yeah, it was.
In some fashion. And I've had or I've been in. That one's happened a lot rarer than the other way around.
So a fun fact, the 2 that were the one-night stands were actually my best friends to help me get over an ex at the same time, mind you. And yes, we are still friends to this day.
No, I couldn't even tell you half their names. I probably couldn't even tell you what most of them look like. I know I can't even tell you what most of them look like.
Alcohol is a hell of a thing, isn't it?
No one doesn't do no alcohol.
Oh,
damn. Oh, damn.
Girl, I did not drink. I was not much of a drinker. I was always DD.
Oh, see,
listen,
it's the liquid courage.
I was literally just a hoe who can be very
Hanji
charming
lore,
when he wants to be.
Here's some Hanji lore for you, okay? During my party days, I was not only a drinker, I was devil's lettuce smoker. I partook in the booger sugar because I got it for free. And, I might have popped acid or LSD at one point in time. This is just for entertainment purposes, TikTok. Don't come for me. But yeah, I was a party animal. But I was like the mother. I would be fucked up and I would still take care of everyone else in the group.
That is funny.
Slurring and all, like, bring your ass over here. Don't talk to him.
Yeah. So
I usually flock to those people, like, because I'd be the one that needs the help.
Mm-hmm. Where's your party at? Okay, I'm gonna go get them.
yeah, I was just a hoe. That's just all there was to it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Just
Ain't no hate in that game.
You want to know what I was a hoe for? Music. Oh yeah. Those fun things I used to take in the club.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
Me and the music was having a full-on makeout session, let me tell you.
I have to laugh at Misha. Thank you so much for that comment. That was fucking hysterical. Thank you.
Hey, yo!
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Damn, Dugald, Dagda with the chilies. Hey.
Hey, thanks, Dagda.
You spicy bitch.
Thank you, friend. I can't even name half of them. Probably can't even name 3/4 of them. But I've been with them.
All I want to see before I pass is a loyal.
Had that encounter at a bar. Do you not remember me? No.
Damn.
Oh. Must not have been that good. Sorry.
Oof. That's wild, dude. No, that's so funny though, because I have like the opposite that has happened to me, where like some stranger will just like start. They'll be like, "Oh, you did something with your hair. You got your hair cut." I'll be like, "Who are you?"
Listen, I know I got that good because after 15 years, my ex is still fucking stalking me. You know that motherfucker messaged me on Etsy? Etsy!
That's wild.
He found my Etsy account!
That's hysterical.
My guy, it's been 15 years. Let it go.
That is nuts. No, I actually have had that as well. I've had a lot of weird ones. I've had one referral, well, 2 referrals, like actual referrals, like sent out, not just people saying they would give them.
Heyo.
It was weird, but it's happened. I've had several preachers' sons. Several.
You need to write a book about that one.
And then, well, one of
See,
them was
I'll raise
literally
you
all over
preacher's
Disney
sons
World.
with preacher's daughters.
Well, mine were literally, one of them was literally all over Disney World.
Oh?
And then I've also had the delayed, "Hey, how are you?" Similar to Benny's. And then I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck you are. Oh, we had several times. Really?
Damn, he must have caught me in a bad night.
News to me. That is
Sorry, darling. Was not that great.
You might have just been in a pinch, in one of my in a pinches, but yeah. This is why I don't run for office. There's just too many.
Bitch.
Just too many.
Okay, yeah, somebody fixed it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hello?
That's why I don't run for office. There's just too many people been and seen me naked. Hey, Brandon.
Oh wait. Hey, what you mean? You don't vote for president?
Who said that?
Didn't you just say you don't vote for office?
Brandon, you really need to stop coming up in the middle of conversations that have nothing to do with the topics.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not down to do that on purpose. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Please forgive me.
You're good.
You're always.
He's talking about
you're
running
fine.
for office.
No, he wasn't voting. Yeah, running for office.
Right.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that.
Hey, still just working on homework, listening to you guys. I'll chime in if interesting. I'm kind of boring though.
Probably gonna be feral for an hour.
I'm a calm person. I teach yoga and shit, so I'll be here though.
Can I get that on a shirt? I'm a calm person.
Mariska
I
Hargitay.
teach yoga and shit. Love that. That's fucking funny.
Oh God.
All right, Brandon, what'd you come up to talk about, friend?
Shoot, I just came up to here to chill. To be honest with y'all.
How sweet.
We can do that until we get some ops. Then we'll talk about it. All right. But yeah, that's why. Yeah, Hanji, that's exactly why I don't go for office. There's too many pictures.
Thank you, Dagda.
Too many people been and seen some stuff.
Oh, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah. Ain't no. Yeah, we can't do that.
I don't mean to get political, but like after all these pictures keep coming out from certain files, I don't think there's like any shame in anybody's game anymore. So
Okay, so hot take here. Who thinks that they added Michael in just to add like fuel to the fire? Because that shit looks AI to me. Just me.
Which one?
yeah, you can't trust anything anymore. Not gonna lie, AI has ruined that for everybody.
The first sect of files that they released, I think it was like 2 days ago.
I haven't seen it yet, and I didn't even know they were out. I was gonna ask somebody, how do we find them?
Because how are you replacing where Trump was with Michael Jackson?
I think there's like a justice.gov URL that has like everything that you can look through.
Yeah.
That's unedited.
Otherwise, I've just been seeing it pop up on
Somebody
people's
earlier
Twitter.
said that if you download the PDFs, you can unredact them. I don't know how true that is.
That's suspicious.
I mean, if you could do that, that would be wild.
Well, what
and,
they said
and it
is
would
that-
already be out. It would already be out.
Well,
People would have already.
Well, they said that it was out like that because they said that the files that were released were on normal PDFs, so people were able to just update the
for
ones.
real?
Yeah, I don't know if it's true
Hey.
because they were told me that on this live, so I don't know.
So,
Hey, are y'all talking about Jeffrey Epstein's isle?
Yeah, but one
file-
second, Brandon. Minerva was saying something just as you came in, but then I'll come back to that. But yes, that is who we're talking about. Minerva, go ahead.
it's off topic, but this Renee person in the comments is a bot. They will gift tiny amounts. I've seen them in several other lives with different TikTok accounts of the same person with different compositions of their photos. Can you just maybe get them out right away because all they do is mess with people?
See, AI is just ruining everything.
Renee, she goes, oh, lol,
I
it's
got
all
it.
auto-generated. It's not even a person, by the way.
Aaron,
I got him.
I got a Discord message just as soon as that I was about to hit the block button. So thank you, Aaron. All right, guys, tap and share. Let's get me up to 5K likes as soon as possible, and also let's get the shares up. I don't even know what they're at right now. Get those up. Let's get some people going, some conversations going. We switch topics because
I have a question.
numbers dropped dramatically. What's up, Brandon? What's your question?
When you was talking about the Jeffrey Epstein earlier, right? And I heard that
Use
the
code
government
words.
What was that, Brandon?
Okay. Well, what I was saying was I found out on the news that everybody wanted to release the documents on the Jeffrey Epstein files, but Donald Trump only released 90% of, not like 10% of everything else was covered up. If they really want the files, why don't they just take it themselves?
Why didn't who take it themselves? What do you mean?
The people that was in power.
You mean Biden?
No, Trump. If they really wanted to go against Trump so badly to release those files, why don't they just order some military people to just take it so they can get the truth for ourselves?
Because the military works for Trump. Trump's not going to be able to do that. And number two, that's not really the military's purview. That's not really what they're for. Trump has no reason to do that because he's releasing them as he sees fit.
Who keeps vibrating? That shit is annoying.
It's Brandon.
It's
Turn
Brandon.
your
He's got
phone
something
off.
going. Yeah, he's got no reason to do that, and nobody else can make them do that.
Well, also, like in all previous administrations, the DOJ and the president usually don't work in tandem like they are right now. This is actually kind of rare, and it's funny. It's ironic because they were saying, weaponize the DOJ and all that stuff, but really, that's like the simple, boring answer to why like Biden didn't release the files is because Biden didn't control the DOJ.
Right.
Not how it's going now.
Technically, he did, but like he didn't. He doesn't. He did
Right,
what
but
every
no
other president does. He
Yeah,
left
no
them to
presidents
do their
ever.
thing. Yeah, he left them to just do their thing, do what they're supposed to do. Trump has run roughshod right the fuck over that. He's taken full on reins of the organization and telling them exactly who to go after and when.
Yeah, there's reasons why they probably, have not done this for, 40 something other presidencies.
Well, he's also trying to consolidate the FCC. That's why you put a loyalist over top of it. If that's supposed to be an independent organization that he has nothing to say over, but yet here we are.
Yeah.
And he's doing
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's what I refer to when I use the fascist word, that's what I'm talking about.
Because that's what he's doing. Like, the DOJ should be a separate entity altogether. I don't think it should fall under the executive. It should be its own independent thing, like the FCC was supposed to be. But now that goes out the window anyway. All right, look at us talking about politics when I specifically switched from them.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Well, the numbers ain't going up, so it's not like it matters. Tonight just might be a bust, and we'll come back again tomorrow on my normal day. It's fine. Although tomorrow's Christmas Eve, I don't know if I should do one tomorrow. I think everybody's gonna be out doing stuff.
I'm not. I'm staying in. Oh wait, no, we are doing something. Never mind.
See, I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna be around on no Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Santa's out. That's for sure. With Jesus. Actually, Santa and Jesus are in a sleigh together because that's all Jesus really is just Santa for adults.
That's what I love, that when Justin runs that prompt too. Wait a minute, was it him who ran that prompt or was it somebody else who ran that?
Yeah, it's Justin.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I love it too. It's so good.
Jesus is just Santa for adults. That's really all it is.
I mean, it's weird because when you think about it, like the naughty and nice list, kind of like the ultimate judge, he'll kind of separate the wheat from the chaff.
That's true. There is that.
Have you seen the girl's TikTok who she's I don't know, she's like a folklore major or something. She prefaces her little talk about Santa with like, I'm a folklore, I majored in folklore, which is a super useful degree. But she talks about how basically what you're saying, like it's how Santa is a god, is a modern day omniscient god, and she does this whole spiel about it. It's pretty hilarious.
That's cool. Actually, I'll have to search her out.
Yeah, she came across my FYP. I don't follow her or anything, but I saw that video. So that's hilarious and frighteningly
all
accurate.
The parallels, yeah, pretty scary. He meets all the criteria, checks all the boxes.
Yeah. I think there's whole professions behind that. There's textbooks by this guy Joseph Campbell from the 70s. He wrote all these kind of things when he would go around from culture to culture and just write down the general ideas of their stories and folklore. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting connections that are made.
All right, y'all. This one might be an ender. I'm gonna hold out until 7:30. If we don't get anybody in or numbers don't go up, then we'll go ahead and call it quits for the night. And we will try again tomorrow. Should I switch back to politics again? Like, I don't know.
I think a lot of people are probably with their families right now.
Probably.
You know?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why I'm debating whether I should even bother with tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. My husband's family is Muslim, and I'm going there. We live in separate places while I go to school, and he actually takes care of our son. So that's kind of a cute little reversal thing we're doing right now. Not that there's anything to reverse necessarily, but yeah, he's like, go do your thing, go get your degree, because I can only get it here in the state that I'm in. And he's like, I got our kiddo, and just hurry up. It's an accelerated degree, so I'll be done in 3 years, which is pretty awesome. But
can I ask, is your husband, is he from a Muslim country, or is he a convert, or?
His family's from Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're a lovely family. There's a lot of good things, you know. It's just the food, the culture, everybody is really respectful, really clean. I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely positives, and you know, our son is growing up with that awareness, and like I don't think either of us are really going to push any types of narratives on him, but I think there's something to be said for being able to participate in certain rituals when the moment is right, as just sort of a social harmony and awareness. It's more like educational.
Yeah, the cultural side of it. I get that.
I was just going to say multiculturalism is like something that we should practice more completely.
Yeah, I'm a singer as well, so learning how to participate in recitation is actually so easy because it's like a song, and I do know the meanings of the Arabic words that I'm reciting when we do namaz and everything, but it's cool to be able to follow along and know exactly what's going on and be able to participate with his family, because it just creates more social harmony. I find my own spirituality in it too. You know, I'm a unique individual.
Did you have to convert to them to be allowed to practice with him, or is that just because you by default, you being with him, you get to? I'm just curious, like how that.
I took the shahada, and we got married the same day. It's like a part of your nikah.
Okay.
So I have very practical, I'm a very pragmatic person, like views of all of these things. And like my overall scope of spirituality is so comprehensive that for me, it wasn't really like a huge thing. I don't know if that makes sense. I was like, yeah, you know, and now I'll get to learn how to pray in the languages that you use and kind of understand that aspect. You know, be able, again, just to participate. And a lot of the recitation is also very calming and healing because it's human singing, you know, like it's beautiful. It makes you feel good, and it's peaceful. So it's just become a part of like our habits, like listening to certain recitations. But I also still listen to all, you know, like yoga mantras, and I don't know, I'm kind of there's like a Tech Nine song about it called Cluster. You know what Tech Nine song I'm talking about?
Are you really dropping Tech Nine right now?
Yeah.
It's true though. It's like I've experienced so much and lived in so many places with so many different spiritual practices and kind of learned a little bit about them all. And there's things I take from them that I feel like are important and relevant. And then there's other things that I don't quite agree with, and I just kind of keep it to myself unless it directly impacts me, you know?
Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that.
Hey, Dagda.
Hi, Dagda. What's going on, friend?
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today?
Good. For the most part. I'm off for the next 5 days, so I'm happy.
Oh, me too. I actually just got off work for the next 5 days myself, so it's looking to be a great Yule.
Well, it was a happy accident from an unfortunate source. I'm a federal employee, so Trump gave us...
That sounds like my dad saying that to me.
Well, Trump gave us the day off on Christmas Eve tomorrow and on Friday, so he's the reason I'm off for the next 5 days.
Same, actually. Well, it's because once it was federal, Nebraska, it just follows anything that the administration does right now. So
I just said screw it, go home.
It's like a straight, just, human centipede of like awfulness from the top to the bottom.
Human centipede is wild, Benny. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
I haven't
No
watched
way.
it either for that same reason.
No way.
Don't bother.
Oh, I believe you.
It serves its poetic purposes, okay?
Poetic?
Ugh.
I don't know what poetry you read.
Hey, there's only one way to be so disgusted, right? So.
That is some wild shit.
That is funny, though. Thanks for that, Benny.
You're welcome.
Like Hellraiser and Pinhead. Oh yeah, give me the OG Pinhead every day of the week. But Human Centipede? No, thank you. No,
Yeah.
thank you. I'd rather be the first one on that line. Sorry, not sorry.
I agree with that. Yeah, I've never actually watched it. I've only seen just the worst parts of it. So I feel like that's all those movies are anyways.
Why would you only watch the worst parts of it? Why?
Otherwise, it's like, what's the purpose of the whole movie? Like, was there even a story?
The purpose was that how far humanity can go, and there's scientific experimentation.
He's all, oh.
He's like, oh yeah, there was a point. That's right. Oh, yeah.
You're right.
I was seeing the messed up clips from some movie on TikTok, and it was basically this guy's daughter got raped by some guy, so he kidnaps the guy, and he's a plastic surgeon, and he performs sexual reassignment surgery upon the man in his captivity over months and months, skin grafts, all kinds of things, and literally turns him physically into a full-on woman representation in body, and proceeds to, apparently the end of the story is that he rapes the young man in return.
Okay, yeah. So
I was
yeah,
like,
maybe
it's like
the pendulum swings too far sometimes.
And I want to say it was a big name actor in it too. Hold on.
Not surprisingly, when you guys started talking about horrific things, your numbers started to go up. Just like if people were fighting and yelling in here, the numbers would go up. That was the point of Human Centipede, right? This is our nature.
Yes, exactly.
Watch the train wreck. Watch it.
That's hysterical. It's a movie. I gotta see what the name of it is. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
I've never heard of this movie. Although there's like a whole
The Skin. The Skin I Live In is the name of it.
Interesting.
And Antonio Banderas is the lead man, the one who does the kidnapping of the rapist.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like actively choose to watch that.
Poor Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, there we go.
I loved him in Interview with the Vampire.
Oh my god, his Armado was beautiful.
Wait a minute, what would you say? I'm sorry.
We were just fawning over Antonio Banderas in his early days.
Meh.
Blaspheme.
All
Can
day,
I-
every day.
Can I ask about one of the things on your poster?
Sure.
Just so I understand it. Just describe free will isn't biblical or real for anyone.
Free will is to be able to act without constraint or fate. The constraint of fate or necessity. So basically, if you're presented with heaven and hell, you can say no. I'm going to go do something else entirely. I don't care about your options. And constraint of necessity and fate would also mean that in our daily lives we have the constraint of our biology, the constraint of the environment we're in, the constraint of laws, the constraint of society, the constraint of familial ties, friendship ties. Like there's all kinds of constraints that make it so you don't really have free will. There's no such thing as free will to me.
So it's just like a logical fallacy. Like I try to present similar ideas sometimes to people. I have a linguistics background too. One of the first things that you learn is that having the same belief as someone else is physically impossible. Right. So when people debate based on shared beliefs, they're debating based on a logical fallacy because you can't actually share beliefs. It's physically impossible.
Right. And that's kind of how I feel about free will. Like we might have a freedom of choice, which is just the choices that we have in front of us for what we can within our own, constraints, our own parameters. But as far as free will is concerned, free will is completely, as it says, free. And it is freeing and is free to have. And we don't have either one because there's constraints, whether they be religious or natural in some way. So I don't see it as being a real thing at all.
Yeah, it was like, if you want to marry your husband, you have to commit to learning about this faith system at the very least. And that necessarily wasn't a constraint because I like to learn, but it is something that's prevalent in many religions. It's like, you have free will, but also you have to do this if you want to be with the person that you love.
You have free will, but you're not allowed to actually utilize it. You have to have something impede on it, and it's just
something impede on it. What?
Impede. Impede. Get your mind out of the gutter. I know we was talking hoe talk earlier.
Oh, my hoe ain't here. He's
now
at the brothers.
Now I have to Google hoe talk. Thank you.
But oftentimes we have a lot of Christians, especially, who like to tell us that the reason like grape happens or war happens or schmurder happens is because of free will. And I can never get them to explain to me what about the free will of the victim. Victim doesn't have any free will in those scenarios.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a similar spiritual bypassing that is also leaked into the more like liberal spiritual communities as well, with like the whole movement with affirmations and manifestation is just like you have total control over your reality. And it's like, well, no, you don't. You actually don't though.
If the sun decides to flare and fuck up everything, I have no control over that.
Exactly. If it's Mercury retrograde, I have no control over that.
Mercury's in the microwave.
Exactly. I say it all the time. My Mercury's been in the microwave for like 5 minutes now. I don't know when I'm supposed to take it out.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to introduce Trombone Man. Are you over 21, friend?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. And what topic did you come up for?
The first one.
All right. What did you want to say?
Yeah, I think the view I have of morals is that they are objective. I don't think there's any key significant issue with that position.
How are your morals objective?
How are my morals objective? Mm-hmm. They're stance independent. So when I talk about what I believe to be true morally, I don't think that depends on people's minds to be true. I think it would be true independent of minds existing.
Such as what specifically?
Like the statement, murder or unjustified unaliving is wrong. I think that would be true, regardless of whatever stance.
But Christianity doesn't say anything about unjustified unaliving.
Say what again?
It said the Christian God doesn't say anything about unjustified unaliving. He commands to go out and do those things while telling you not to do that.
Well, I mean, I'm not really trying to argue based on specific verses of scripture. Not all my moral prescriptions are going to come specifically from what God said. Not really, no. But from simply what's in the Bible, not necessarily. Why would that be the case?
You're being subjective to these morals? I'm so confused.
I think you're confused. When people say subjective, they often seem to conflate that with relativist, with moral relativism. You can believe that moral statements are universal. They aren't universally true for every single person. I still think that they are objective, that they exist independent of a person's stance regarding them.
Not necessarily, because they wouldn't exist if it weren't for the person having the stance. Like,
Well, you're presupposing that. That's not my
because
view.
you're saying that unjustified murder is not thing, but to whoever's committing this murder, it's justified.
Okay, to a person that believes the Earth is flat, that belief is justified as well.
It doesn't.
I mean, just because people disagree on facts does not make them any less objective. Like this is trivially true. People disagree about the empirical world all the time.
But
we know the
just
empirical
you're
objectively
ignoring
exists.
the fact that there are people who are born without a morality that you're talking about, because they're, for example, psychopaths and sociopaths.
There are people that are born. There are people that are schizophrenic. They don't see reality correctly. They don't see the objective world correctly as well. It doesn't mean the objective world is subjective as well. Are you like an empirical subjectivist too? Because that's what you're arguing for, effectively.
No, I'm saying that morality in and of itself is subjective, but the outcomes, the things that you can measure as a result of those things, those are objective. Which is why I personally base my morals on harm negation or harm reduction. To say that morals are universal or objective would require that, because the scenarios you're giving are not true across the board, because the next person next to you has a different stance, whether you like that or not. But the outcomes of those things are obviously objective. That's why I don't say morals themselves are objective, because they're not. Every person's going to have a different set of them, no matter what, especially when it comes to religion.
Let me try and break this down and I'm trying to understand your position here fully. But so your position is that, like a specific like moral proposition. Like if I say, like let's go to the unaliving, unjustified unaliving is wrong. Like if I make that statement, that is subjective. But like the impacts of like an action, like unaliving, the harm that it causes, that's objective. Like we can measure that empirically, and we can measure how much harm is caused when you commit an act like that. Is that your position?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't really take issue with that position necessarily, but what I'm really struggling to understand is your argument, which is basically just saying that because people disagree about moral facts, or sometimes people are unable to have like a radically different perspective on moral facts because of like mental conditions. That means that moral facts are somehow like dependent on minds, when people also disagree on facts about the empirical world. They disagree about facts about the objective world that we all observe. People can be schizophrenic. People can have delusions. Right. That doesn't mean the empirical world is dependent on minds. No, are you like an idealist?
No,
or like
what you're confusing is that even you're holding the same stance that I do. The difference is you're applying it before the outcome. I'm saying morality in and of itself is not a universal concept and is not a universal law. It's not a universal truth. It is something that exists because of a social species having some degree of it, because it helps our survival. As far as the individual, it's going to be different per individual based on their religion, where they grew up, how they grew up, things that have affected them, their own brain structure, chemistry. All these various things are going to affect their morality. So when we say morals, I'm saying morality in and of itself is subjective. But the outcomes that we're talking about, the same thing you're talking about, are what are objective. That's where we're supposed to be basing our stuff on, is our morals are supposed to be based on harm reduction or harm negation, just like any social species does. But it's going to be different, because if morals were universal, all social species would show the same degree of all of them, and they don't.
Look, I feel this is an point we're kind of talking past each other, unfortunately, but the issue, when you say, for instance, that people's understanding of morality is affected by the environment, it's affected by where they're born in, like that's obviously true. Like no one denies that. The point that has no bearing on whether a specific moral proposition, like truth aptness, depends on minds. Like it has no merit. As I've said like 5 times already. People. Oh my God. Yeah. I let you finish. Please let me get it.
You don't let him do anything, because last I checked, this is his live stream and his panel. So watch your tone. Don't
Look,
talk.
maybe I phrased it wrong. I really want to get my point across. It's fine if you interrupt me, but please, I'd prefer to be able to like get my ideas fully across. If you don't mind, please.
Oh, that sounds better. Go ahead.
You're repeating what you said earlier, which I understood, but go ahead and repeat it
Mhm.
again.
Yeah. So the issue is that we obviously know that people can come to disagreements about empirical facts, and people's understanding of empirical facts can be heavily impacted by the environment, by where they were born in, by their culture, by their socioeconomics. That can take place all the time, by even their neurobiology. That doesn't mean that statements or propositions in general have to be predicated upon people's minds to be true.
But here's the problem. You're saying that morals are empirical, and they're not. That is my point. Morals and
I'm not saying they're empirical.
You are when you're saying that morals that people have, they disagree on morals, but they cannot disagree on the empirical facts. Those facts are the results. Those are the things I'm talking about. The actual morals, again, are subjective because they are going to be different per person.
Are you arguing that something needs to be empirical to be objective?
You are calling things a fact. If something is a fact, doesn't matter if you disagree about it, it's still going to be a fact. Right. You're saying the same thing as him, but you're using the outcome instead of the way that morals, and under your Hegelianistic, whatever the fuck that is, isn't that y'all's whole stance? Is that morality is formed from societal norm, like from your culture and from where you grew up and the things that you experienced?
My bio is subjective.
I'm not talking about your bio. I'm talking about that stance. That is subjective. That is literally, you're saying the same thing as him. You're saying that the outcomes, those are facts. We know it's going to come from, like you said. Yes, you did. You literally did. You repeated it twice.
Because I was repeating his position.
No.
I wasn't saying that's my position.
Yes, your position, not mine.
No, my position is that someone can believe that morals are like not universally true, but that they are still objective. Like,
but they're not.
That's my position. I don't think morals are universal. I think they're objective.
Morals are just personal things that most people have or don't have based on any given situation. Again, those are going to be different per person. You might see that a premeditated murder is bad, but the person down the street might see it as good because that person they're premeditatedly thinking about doing this to is causing them great harm. You don't know. The difference is we're talking about the outcomes of these things that cause the harm to society. If you're going to tell me that a moral is objective, that means that moral would be the same for every person across the board, no matter what. And it's not.
You're saying if morals are objective, people would have to agree on them. Is that what you're saying? So
yes,
do you agree that
they can't be objective if it's not.
Okay,
it's mind independent.
Allow me. Do you agree that the empirical world, the world that we observe with our five senses, that is objective? Do you agree on that?
You're literally wasting time right now.
People disagree about the empirical world. People don't have the same
what you're raising your voice for.
By what you're describing, the empirical world.
What are you raising your voice for?
Okay.
The empirical evidence, the empirical side of things exists no matter what. The moral would not change if it were objective across the board because empirical facts do not change regardless of the opinion. But morals do change based on the person that you're talking to, and furthermore, based on their religion, their culture, how they grew up, all those things. None of it is ever going to be the same across the board. If it were objective, it would be the same across the board.
Okay. I may be very clear.
Do you think marrying children is a moral issue?
What?
Yes or no? Obviously, yes. Right? Do you think other cultures who marry young children would agree with you?
Dude, there are people in other cultures.
Yes or no?
No, there are people in other cultures who think the earth is flat too. That doesn't mean that you're being flat is subjective.
But it's not a fact.
I think you're confusing what empirical is. Empirical is something you have evidence for. Morality is a concept that people have differently per brain.
Yeah, it's mind dependent. Like, I don't know where you're getting the realism part of your moral realism.
Right.
Okay, here's the issue here. When we talk about the empirical world, what we are describing, when people describe the empirical world, what they are describing is to some extent subjective. Like when people describe the empirical world, it's different. Like, you allow me to speak. When people talk about the empirical world, like they're describing how they perceive the empirical world through their senses. So that doesn't change the fact that the empirical world is objective, that the empirical world exists mind independently, that facts about the empirical world are true regardless of whether minds existed or not. That's what I'm saying is the case for morals as well. Like people disagree and people's views, the way to describe moral facts can be inaccurate, can be untrue, but the moral facts themselves like do not depend on minds to be true.
Those aren't the morals themselves. Those are the outcomes to the morals.
No, they literally are the moral facts in my view. You're not even like engaged with my view.
How are they a moral fact? If it is different for me and it is different for this person over here, it is not a moral fact because that person has a different concept and a different idea of what morality is.
What you're not tracking is the same as literally true for empirical facts, for the empirical world.
Empirical requires evidence. Prove to me that morals exist outside of somebody's brain.
Oh my God. What?
He's not
even.
wrong,
Oh my God! This is insane.
No, it's not insane. You just don't know how to track.
No, he's literally not tracking what I'm saying right now.
You don't understand.
I don't even know where to go forward in this conversation. This is wild.
Morals require agency. I think that's what he's getting at. If there's no agency, there's no morals.
No, he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's saying, Minerva. The thing is that Dugald just went off his script and now he's filibustering.
I'm literally not.
You keep using the word
panel.
objective.
You have an entire panel and at least 25 people in a chat who are understanding everything I'm saying perfectly fine. You are the one who seems to be confused.
It's not that I'm not understanding what you're saying. It's that you are literally not tracking the points.
How am I not tracking? You're saying morals are empirical. They're not.
I literally said they are not. Morals do not have evidence for them. Obviously, that's not the case. I have never claimed that. Like, you genuinely are not tracking the conversation. This is like, I don't even know where to go for it. I said like 2 times. The morals are not important.
You're making
I don't know why we're being emotional.
The point. You keep using the word objective. That implies fact. They are not facts. The harm afterwards can be measured, and you can call that a fact, which is what Dugald was talking about at first, but they are not objective. It's not a fact. Everyone doesn't come to the same conclusion. It's not factual. It's not objective.
Bingo.
Yeah, everyone coming to the same conclusion has no bearing on whether it's a fact or not.
That would be a fact.
That's not the claim they're making, Trombone. This is why we're saying you're not tracking, because that's not what they're claiming.
He's really not, like.
So
we're telling you that if I say you can't sit there and say that morals are objective based on an empirical world, if you're going to sit there and tell me that XYZ is wrong, but everybody else, because there's no tangible thing for you to prove, which would make it objective, because objective would mean mind independent. In other words, does not require a mind. A moral requires a mind. If you do not agree across the board on a thing that requires a mind, then it is not objective.
I don't think that's the question. That does not require a mind. That is literally my contention.
The moral does require a mind. Go out and find me a moral written in the sky somewhere, or in the universe, or in the fabric of time, or in quantum physics. Find me where morals are written out so that they're objective.
Well,
I'm just gonna say, do you have an example that you could give of what you're do you have an illustration of what you're trying to convey?
Well, I'm a moral non-naturalist, so my view is that moral facts are things that we access to a priori reasoning. The same way we can come to conclusions in logic, the same way we can make deductions logically. That's the same sort of space that moral statements exist in.
Okay, so you pretty much just repeated your verbatim there. Could you actually give an example of what you're meaning by your moral. Like, how would you?
I've described what my view is.
Right, and I've already told you that
You're not
that's
giving
not
an
the same
example
for
then.
everybody. Therefore, that would make it not objective.
Oh my, holy shit! Let me ask you this: do you think people perceive and interact with the objective world the exact same way? Like, do you think people's perceptions?
Nobody's making that claim.
Okay. All right. So the objective world is not the same for everyone, right?
Oh my god, the objective
Is that what you're?
The objective is the same for everyone, whether
Right.
they disagree with it or not,
Mhm.
whether they perceive it differently or not. A moral is not like that.
But also, the example that you're giving as the caveat are people with mental illnesses. Like, you kept bringing up schizophrenia. Like, I don't understand where you're trying to go with this. You're not being very cohesive with your statements. Like, we asked you for an example and you still haven't given one. You're doing a lot of like giggling and huffing and puffing because you're getting flustered, but you're not making any sense.
An example of what? Like what would be the tonight I show
How
you?
a
What would be
moral
what
that you hold is objectively true for everyone.
is objectively? I don't even hold to it that it morals are true for everyone. I don't even believe that.
Your whole argument is that morals are objective.
He's literally a
You don't
troll.
understand the
He's
difference between
fucking
objective and
yapping.
universal.
even understand his own argument.
No,
He's
there's
yapping.
when I first came up on the live, I made a distinction between objective morals and universal morals. Like
No,
someone can
you
be a moral
didn't, and you're
realist.
yapping.
You did not.
Yes, I literally did. You can play the live back.
Literally, it never came out of your mouth. You're
Okay,
yapping and you're
Dougal, do
lying.
you want to bet on that? Dougal, do you want to bet on
You're
that?
rambling.
Yeah,
and
we're
you're lying.
definitely going to bet on that right
No.
now. Now shut your filibuster ass mouth for like 5 seconds. A moderator is speaking. Be a good boy and stay on mute until I'm fucking done talking. Queen is in charge now. Chat. Can we get the 1 in the comments if that is literally what he came up to discuss? Put the 2 if he's backtracking his statement. Panel, that includes you too.
All right. So again,
so we caught your ass in a lie.
Your entire argument has been that morals are objective, and we're telling you that objectivity requires a truth. Truth is a truth regardless of opinion, as you've already said. Now you have to show where morality is true across the board for each individual person, regardless of their opinion on it.
Okay, so if I can explain what I said earlier, that somehow people were not able to listen. There is a distinction between morals being universal and morals being objective. You're conflating these two things. When someone says morals are universal, that's what you're saying, that they're true for everyone. That could still be the case
That's
in
not
morals
what
are
he's
subjective.
saying. What the fuck is going on?
Dude, I never
You were
said
talking
that.
about the chat not listening? He's not listening.
Oh my god.
Universal truth and an objective truth would be the same thing because they are both things that are true across the board, no matter what. Objective means mind independent. Find me a moral that exists that does not require a mind.
Look, I don't even know where we have to start with this, but you're oh my god.
How is that a hard question?
Universal and objective are not the same things. Mind independent is not the same as universal. What are you talking about?
That again,
You're
that's
just
not what he
conflating
said.
very
I
basic terms in
think
meta
you're
ethics.
struggling with this
wild.
conversation.
Are you
No,
trying to
this
say
is like
that the universe has
fundamental
a
to any meta-ethical
consciousness?
conversation. Universal and objective are not the same.
That's what I'm hearing, Minerva.
I kind of am
They are
wondering,
not
like,
the same at all.
what are
They're
your
entirely
personal
different.
philosophies? So I'm hearing empirical, which is like a tree falls in the forest. Is anyone around to hear it? Does it make a sound? Okay, like that kind of whole rabbit hole we could go down. So what you're saying is whether or not there are people to exercise morality or conceive of it or perceive it, that there is this underlying current of objective universal morality that exists whether or not we choose to exercise it. That is what I hear you saying.
I'm not saying anything about universal, and I'm not saying anything about empirical. Empirical doesn't just mean it exists
saying-
whether people perceive or not. Empirical means you can be observed via your senses.
He's saying that
It's mean that you access true sense data of some sort. I don't think morals are that way.
you're saying that chocolate
I
ice cream
flipped
is the best ice
empirical
cream.
and objective. I apologize. So, but is that what you're saying? That there is
I'm
some
saying
underlying
All I'm saying-
universal morality.
I wouldn't say universal. I'd say that moral statements are true independent of mind. So any given moral statement is going to be true regardless of a person's stance about it.
So
They're
do
not,
you
they
think-
the
moral
truth matter is
statement.
not in mind.
Can I
Show
ask
me
you
a
a
moral
question?
statement.
Hold on. So
Who sets these morals? How do they exist? How do they become into existence without a human mind to conceive of them? Because even words are arbitrary symbols that we assign meaning. The word moral doesn't mean the same thing to a non-English speaker. We collectively assign that meaning. So make it make sense for me, please.
I mean, that's just a very good question. What I would say is, like, my view is that when we talk about moral statements, moral propositions, they supervene upon facts in the natural world. So
Tell me a
if
moral
you have,
statement.
if you have like, I'll give an example. So if you have any change in the natural world that relates, like, let me rephrase, and any change in moral facts that's going to take place is going to correspond with a change in natural facts and facts about the natural world and events taking place in the natural world. So
It's not an example. Give me a moral statement.
okay, so let's say the statement like this giving unaliving is immoral or moral, like and like if someone like is unjustified or justified. That that moral like proposition being justified or unjustified or immoral or moral is always going to correspond to something taking place in the natural world.
And you think that just made a whole lot of sense.
taking place
But
for
you're
who?
still arguing effects and
Right.
not this grand
you.
overarching moral.
It's not even about effects. I never
Yeah, it
mentioned
is,
anything
because
about
if you're going to argue that let's say there was a detrimental effect on life, you can't have one without the other.
I'm not. I'm literally not saying that.
Why should we even prioritize life? You know, like
Look, my view has nothing to do with the effects. I'm not like utility, and that's totally different. That's just like a normative discussion. That's like how we determine what's right or wrong. I'm not even talking about that. Like that's not even part of this conversation.
right or wrong
I'm
or
talking about
moral
methods.
terms.
Yeah,
No, like,
exactly.
how
Again, we
you
come back to
know-
how morality is
How-
human.
how
Morality
you
is
know-
a
how you
human
know-
conception.
How you know if something is
Hold on.
right or wrong? It
Hold
has
on,
nothing to
really
do with whether
quick,
it's subjective or objective.
Really quick. We're actually he's missing the point. You still have not issued a moral statement that's objective.
Thank you.
issue
There's
an
no
objective-
example of
Yeah,
this.
let's
It's
not-
all
let's
like
not-
up in the air, like
let's- one second,
philosophy,
everybody. Let's not beat around the
chatter,
bush. Trombone.
hypotheticals without any grounding in reality.
Yeah, I feel like
give an absolute morally objective statement, Trombone.
As a like, I don't know.
Give an absolute
murder is
morally
wrong.
objective-
Murder is
Okay.
wrong.
To you? To you?
To
No,
you,
it's wrong
right?
for everyone.
So let's
No,
take a look.
it's
You
not.
said
Not to me.
Hold
Yes,
on,
it
hold on,
is.
Hanji.
You can
hold
say
on,
it.
Hanji.
Yeah.
He actually gave a qualifier. He said justified previously when he mentioned unaliving people. Okay.
Unjustified, yeah.
So a person, yeah. So all right. So I break into your home, and you go to defend your home with a pew pew. Now my life is currently in danger, and so I unalive you. Now that would be justified from my perspective. Right? Because I'm defending my life. Even though I just broke into your home, all I did was threaten to steal something potentially. I haven't actually posed a harm to you yet. So now, did I schmurder you in an unjustified manner? You went to unalive me for breaking into your home. I mean, where do you draw the line on justification?
I mean, you're not making an argument for why this would be subjective. Like, I don't think a perspective
justification is
whether it's
subjective.
wrong or not.
Are you saying
I
justification
don't
is subjective?
repeat that again.
Are you saying justification is subjective?
Justification for moral propositions, that's
Yeah.
objective, in my view.
Oh, so then I objectively had the right to unalive you first, even though I broke into your home because you went to come after. You were going to unalive me.
Yeah, if I
So I
first of all,
didn't commit a
this
moral
is
crime by
again,
unaliving you.
you're conflating two very important.
No,
you're
I'm not.
conflating
I'm actually asking.
Allow-
did I commit,
holy shit, allow-
did I
allow me-
commit
allow me to speak.
an objectively immoral crime by unaliving you in defense of my own life?
Okay, I didn't hear the first part because you were interrupting me. What did you say?
Well,
You were
maybe then you
interrupting
should have
him.
listened.
Yeah, you were interrupting him. Let's get back
Yeah.
to you.
So, like I said, I break into your home
Mm-hmm.
just to steal some stuff.
Sure.
You pull out a pew pew and go to unalive me, but I actually pull out my own pew pew at that moment. I didn't have it out before, but then I pull out my pew pew to unalive you, and I succeed.
Sure.
Was I justified in unaliving you? And then is it immorally wrong?
It's morally
According to
wrong.
your it's objectively immorally wrong for me to unalive you.
Yeah.
Because you went to unalive me first.
Yeah. Because I mean, you invaded my house. I'm
Right.
defending myself.
So where's the moral justification then? And as far as where do you draw the line for that justification? So if I'm
Look,
in the middle
what-
of stealing from your home, let's say it was a piece of bread because I was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
You have in your mind you are morally free to unalive me at that point.
Like if you're in my house just stealing bread.
Yeah, you didn't know that that's what I was there for. I thought you said that it has to be justified, right? So now you didn't know that's what I was there for. You just saw me in your home and you went to unalive me, and then I unalived you first. Am I justified in defending my life, or were you justified in trying to take mine for trying to take some bread? Where do you draw the line on justification?
I think the situation nobody is really justified. I don't think the homeowner is justified in unaliving.
But it's objective. Since it's objective, there should be nothing to think about. You should have a concrete answer because it's objective.
That obviously isn't. That would be like saying the empirical world.
You said it was objective.
If it's objective, then you should have this answer.
What do you think objective means?
Objective.
What do you think it means? That's what we've been arguing this
Mind independent.
All objective means that
you
it's
do not
mind
understand
independent.
what objective is, then you are not
all that objective means is mind
independence. And
Yes.
you are requiring a mind to come up with his scenario.
No. We're talking about the normative. What do you give as a normative?
This is actually
it's
if
not.
you're saying there's
It is.
objective morality, then
Yeah.
you should have an answer to this question. That is objective.
I think the universe is empirical. I don't know every fact about science. I can't give you every. I think there are still important questions answered
Empirical
about
and
science.
objective
as well,
are not
too.
the same thing.
Exactly. It's like it's like you conflated.
Just because I cannot
Excuse me,
give you an
trombone,
answer.
trombone,
Just because
trombone,
Yes.
you conflated empirical earlier with having something to do with our senses, when empirical has nothing to
that
do
is
with
the
our
definition.
senses.
That
No.
is the definition of
It
empirical.
does not. Empirical does not require our senses, because it'll be true regardless of if I can see or not. Let's say I have no
Yes.
vision; it's still true. Let's say I have no vision and no
empirical
hearing.
is referring to a specific type of objective, specific type of truth that depends on senses. It's not
No, it
every
does
single,
not
not every
depend on
single
senses.
fact is
Empirical
empirical.
is a fact independent of your senses.
No,
that's
that's
why
objective.
we seek it. That's why we seek empirical data, because people's senses and perception can be off.
We still haven't proven objective
Empirical specifically
morality.
refers to sense data. Data are quite this looks like you can Google search this, dude. Like I don't know how you don't know this. This is like the Oxford
It
definition
doesn't
of empirical.
require a person's senses for empirical data.
Okay,
Because
if I give you the definition, will you agree with this one? I can literally pull
I
the
will
definition.
disagree because
I need you
would
to pull
disagree
up
because it's
objective.
independent of an individual's senses. That's the reason why we develop tools and tests.
All right, everyone, time out real quick. Kitty Cat, you have been extremely patient, my darling. Go ahead, dear.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, what I wanted to jump in here and say to Trombone specifically, I'm been listening for quite a while, and like there can be no objective morality because of what morality is. Morality is a system of measurement, and all systems of measurement are ultimately arbitrary. They are based on whatever usage that human beings have for that system of measurement.
Like
And so-
words.
Exactly. And so what morality is an evaluation of whether or not a particular action is going to be beneficial or detrimental to a given goal. So if your morality is rooted in, if you're like one of these extremist eco-terrorist kind of folks, and your morality is rooted in the human beings have polluted the planet and human beings have created huge extinction events for animals and all this kind of stuff, and that human beings are the worst thing that ever happened to the planet Earth, in your morality, if you hear about a war or a genocide, you may think, oh, good, that's a good thing, because that's where your morality is rooted. And that is completely counter from someone else's morality. And even looking back in history, there were times when we kept people as slaves, and that was considered completely moral, and now that's not considered moral. So there is no objective morality. The only concept of moral facts that you can even stumble upon is that if within a given system of morals and within a given goal that system of morality was designed to evaluate, that something is either detrimental, neutral, or beneficial to that goal. So it could be a moral fact that if you are a pacifist, that a war is a bad thing. That could be a moral fact. But you can't say that that's an objective moral fact, because for some people and in some places and in some times, a war could be a good thing, and they could think that war is a wonderful thing. Morality is not like mathematics, where it is a descriptive system of empirical reality. It is not descriptive of things that are true regardless of whether or not human beings are here. Exactly. Morality is ultimately a bunch of preferences that we make, and because we as Homo sapiens all have similar needs and wants and desires and all this kind of stuff, we tend to have a lot of overlap as societies grow and change. Yes, we look at schmurder and we look at grape and we look at all these sorts of things as oh, well, that's very obviously an objectively moral thing, or an immoral thing. But that's only because that is an anthropocentric viewpoint, and that we are all creatures that have similar challenges and limitations and hopes and dreams and wants. And so, yeah, there's going to be overlap, but that doesn't mean that those things are universal. That doesn't mean that those things are empirical, because we can't get anybody to agree on the concepts of morality. In other parts of the world today, it is considered immoral for a woman to walk out of the house without a sheet over her head. There's no empirical right or wrong answer to that question. It is merely a preference of that society and how that society wants its members to act, because it believes that those actions will have positive impacts to a large percentage of the society. I'll land my point.
Look, here's the issue, and I'll just ask you. Here's the issue I take the most for the sort of answer you gave me, which is what you said earlier, where you were saying that. Well, not really. I was just one of the later things you said, where you were saying that people in certain cultures don't think it's permissible for a woman to dress a certain way, and it's like a moral outcry for them to walk the streets. And obviously in other
What happened?
Zeus said, "Shut the fuck up."
No, I got a phone call. What are you laughing about? Holy moly. I got a phone call.
I can laugh all the fuck I want. Why the fuck are you crying, bitch? You couldn't even fucking land your plane backtracking because everyone put you in your fucking corner. And the fact that Kitty actually put you in your place by definition, now all of a sudden you're gonna fucking complain about my laughing? Suck my dick. The fuck?
I just told you I got a call. I mean, it's not a complaint. I'm just telling you
It's
what happened.
called a joke, bitch, not the dick. Don't take it so hard. I'm not shoving it that far down your throat.
Okay. I mean, you're the only one that's distressed about it. No one else is mad. I don't know why you need to be.
You were obviously mad because you commented on it.
Do I sound mad?
Okay, at me because I'm laughing.
I guess.
She can
I'll
laugh.
try and address Kitty.
And it's okay. You'll be all right.
So, what I take issue with the most about what you said, and I'll try and address the other points, if you can kind of answer this, is when you're saying that because of this disagreement about moral facts, that this somehow lends credence to them being like subjective, and that's obviously not true. People disagree. I hate to sound like a broken record here, but people disagree about facts about the empirical world all the time as well.
Can
and
you
we
look
often
up the
cannot
word
reconcile
objective?
these disagreements.
Can
That
you look
doesn't
up the
mean that
word
it's subjective.
objective? We can't hear you, Dugald.
Dugald, you're muted, darling.
Ariel, you have asked
You've
that
said
like
that over and
5
over again.
times now.
And
He needs to
Literally,
just look it
right.
up.
the fact of the matter is, you keep saying that, but you've yet to give us a moral that is objective, mind independent. Show us where there is somewhere a moral that just exists out in the universe somewhere. That
I don't think morals
everybody
exist.
can, that is true no matter what.
They're not spacious
That does not
and
require a
moral.
mind.
Also, to
Morals aren't
answer
spacious and moral.
Trombone, yes,
Right.
people
And they
people do
require a
disagree.
mind, which is what objective means. It requires a mind.
Which means subjective, not objective.
People do disagree
subjective, yes.
about
Subjective
objective
requires a
reality.
mind.
People do disagree about objective reality all the time. We have flat earthers, right? The difference is there is no right or wrong answer. There's no way to prove that a woman leaving the house without a scarf over her head is wrong, or a woman leaving the house with a scarf over her head is right. That's the difference, is that about the objective world, we have tools, we have systems, we have measurements, we have science. We can study things and say, well, no, look, see, 1 + 1 does equal 2. It's not an opinion, and you can disagree with that. If you want to say 1 + 1 equals banana, you can do that, but that would be just that you are wrong. And the thing is, when we're talking about facts of reality, okay, there are certain facts such as, yes, people generally prefer life to death. People generally prefer freedom to subjugation. People generally prefer, to have choices in their life and be able to go and do things. There are normative things that generally, yes, that we can all agree on, but that does not mean that that is some sort of underlying writing structure of the universe, that those things are divine or brought about and they are objective, because there are plenty of people who don't like all those things. Even something like having smecks, like we have people who don't like doing that. We have people who love doing it. It's a spectrum. So when it comes to objective facts, like 1 + 1 = 2, we have evidence to back that up, and we can prove it. It's testable. It's falsifiable. It is demonstrable by all of our, we can take 2 apples and put them next to each other and say, now look, there's 2 of them. But when it comes to facts about morality, we can't say that black and white, that there's no ability to say that something is 100% wrong or something is 100% right. Everything is situational. And I think it was Sweetheart earlier that brought up the situation of, well, what if you break into my house? Oh, what if you steal something? Well, then what if you're
Sweetheart.
hungry?
It's sweet happy.
I'll take it. And he still hasn't answered what the objectively moral answer is, because
it's all situational.
I wouldn't need to. I can
all
answer. I can answer
situational.
questions about science as well
If
too.
it's
But I'll try and address.
For Bone, if it's objective, you should be able to, because it is obvious, it is objective, it is universal, it is covered, it is a known truth, it is a
Objective doesn't mean it's obvious.
it is
No,
a
like,
fact.
let me
fact as to what was committed was wrong.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick. Do you know if 200 million light years from now there was a planet where there are intelligent organisms
200 million light years from now?
No, 200 million light years away from us, somewhere in the universe.
Away from us.
There's a
Okay.
planet.
You said from
Yeah,
now.
you said from now.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Away from us in the universe, like 200 million light years away in the universe, that there's a planet where there are intelligent life forms with similar, intelligence to human beings. That fact, we have no epistemic access that's true or not.
Exactly,
But that
and there's
fact
no reason to believe it.
Does not depend. Sure, you might not have any reason to believe it, but that fact being true
That's
is
not a
a
fact
part of
to
the
be
objective
true.
world.
You can't
Are
say
you
that's a
okay?
fact.
How long are we gonna do this? I keep telling you to look up the word objective. Maybe stop rambling so you can hear when other people talk. You're just yapping. You're getting on my nerves. You're
That
getting
can't be
on my
added to our
nerves.
body of facts. That can't be added to our body of facts. So you're saying this fact that's true about something to as far as we know, 200 million light years away with zero evidence of their existence, we can speculate that they're there, but it is not a fact within our body of knowledge. So for the moment, it is not a fact. It is someone's random speculation, and that's all it is. And until we have evidence of such, it will not be a fact. Now,
So
that
why did
doesn't
you
mean
come
that
up
it's
here?
not
Why is this
factually
speculation
true.
relevant to the live topic?
Allow me to because I'm trying to
Can
explain
you
how it's
relate
relevant.
it? Can you
Yes,
relate
that's
it to
what
why
I'm trying to do
everyone is
without
here?
interrupted. That's why you don't interrupt people when they're trying to make a point.
I was making a point and
Motherfucker,
you
you've been
kept fucking
interrupting
talking.
every son of a bitch up here since you've been up here talking about that's what happens when you interrupt me. Bitch, this ain't your fucking platform. You have no decency for anyone else on the fucking panel. And when people actually put you in your place about your own fucking arguments, you want to overtalk them because you know they are right and you are wrong. Miss us with that fucking bullshit.
The point is, you don't know what a fact is, obviously. You don't know what objective means. The word fact is literally part of the definition of objective. These things that you're talking about are not facts. I don't know how many times different people on the panel have to break it down. There is no 100% right or 100% wrong. It is not a fact. It is not something that you can prove over and over and over again to be wrong because it is situational. You don't know the definition of these words that you're using. And I think in your mind, your argument is making cohesive sense because I think you have an argument, but it's not this because you're using the wrong words. You need to go do some research and reframe your argument and come back. You're not making any sense. You keep using the word fact for things that are not facts. These words have definitions.
Okay, if you allow me to speak, what I was trying to get across, I'll sometimes I misspoke to an extent, but we could say it if the proposition, let's say the proposition that there is a world 200 million light years away from us, where there are organisms that have human-like intelligence. That proposition, we have no epistemic access to whether it's true or false, but it is still, it being true or false does not depend on our minds whatsoever.
Something being true or false make it a fact.
If nobody, so it obviously is objective. It's either objective.
Does something being true or false make it a fact?
I do. There are no.
Trombone,
oh my God.
It doesn't get
Unfortunately,
added
it's
to
getting
our
to a
body
point.
of facts until we can verify it, whether it is true or not. It does not matter unless it's verifiable, and since it's not verifiable,
you're not really tracking what the point of.
It is not.
Thank
Since
God.
I understand what you're saying, actually, I do understand.
Bye,
what you're saying.
bitch.
Oh,
Bye.
No,
the
he
worst
didn't
is
do
I
that.
understood.
Dad
And I
got paid
think
to kick
Dugald,
him.
I think everyone up here also understood what he was saying. Just because it could technically be true, they could be there, like in reality, and we don't know. Does that mean it's a fact that they're factually there? Well, the truth is if we knew they were factually there, then we could say, hey, it's part of our body of facts that we know they exist there. But without that evidence, it is not a fact that we can talk about. It is not a fact.
No.
Until we get that evidence, it's not something that we can call a fact.
Exactly.
Period.
All right, everybody, hold on really quick. Dagda in the chat, he's the one that sent the galaxy to drop him. We accepted the galaxy because we were getting desperate, I think.
Also,
Dugald. I think
Dugald.
Dag accidentally sent it to me. I'll have to forward it to you at some point.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even notice that. It automatically selects sometimes, so I do apologize.
I'm so
about that.
sorry.
No worries.
I've
Also,
never got a
send it to
galaxy
me.
before. I feel special.
Dugald, I can hardly hear you on my end. I don't know if your mic's down or what, but he was able to
turn it up more.
overtalk you super easy.
How's that?
Sounds
That's
great.
a lot better.
All right. No, I don't understand what wasn't tracking for him. He kept saying objective means mind independent. Or not mind dependent. It did not require a mind, but yet every moral requires a mind. It doesn't exist in nature on its own.
That was literally the fundamental issue. He
Right.
does not understand the word fact. He doesn't understand what a fact is. You're not understanding objective.
Dugald, have you ever heard Fluff's thing? She actually thinks that there may be an objective morality that we just haven't discovered yet.
If that were the case, she would have to prove it among all social species.
Oh no, I agree, and I think she does too.
Okay.
I think she thinks it does exist, and we just haven't discovered it, like in some capacity. And I don't know, maybe that's possible, but it's not. It's not certainly not something that we can hedge on.
No, not right now, especially.
I love Trombone bringing into the conversation the theoretical like concept of aliens, beings from 200 light years away, because if there are beings that live in a completely different part of the cosmos from us, have a completely different biology, but still have human-like intelligence, there is no guarantee that their societies are going to look anything like ours, because in their society, it might be the most polite thing ever to eat your neighbor. You don't know what their society is going to be like, because their biology is completely different than ours. Their planet is going to be completely different than ours. So their rules around politeness and morality and all that kind of stuff are going to be completely different than ours.
There's actually a show out right now that actually highlights this quite a lot. It's on Apple TV. It's Pluribus. Pluribus. Basically, humanity develops a hive mind, and there are like a very small amount of people in the world who did not get stuck in it. So now they're having to show like how that works and the morality of a hive mind versus an individual's. Be easy, it's really good.
What's it called?
It's called Pluribus.
Pluribus.
Yeah, it's really good.
Now you're getting into post-singularity fiction, which is like my favorite type of science fiction. I started writing a post-singularity book / album / live action. I don't know what I thought I was creating. I was in my 20s, so don't hold it against me. But
it's a fascinating show. It's like, I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes in now, or maybe a little bit more. And it's showing like the human hive mind morality is very different than the individuals that did not get this hive mind attribute, right? They didn't get put into the collective. So it highlights a lot of what we're talking about there, where it's subjective no matter what, whether you're Tom, Dick, and Harry, or just Tom, Dick, or Harry. It's it's gonna be different. To sit there and say that something is objective would mean that it's not just a concept; it has to actually exist somewhere, right? Because without a mind, there is no such thing as a moral.
But that's what I was about to say. He's saying if they're out there, then it's not a fact. Like, I don't understand what was tripping him up.
You notice he had to keep giving examples that required a being with a mind. Like, a star doesn't give a fuck if it eats a planet. It doesn't give a fuck. And
for all the Dune fans out there, like, even if you were psychic, like super mega duper psychic, right? And you could see into the future and you could see all the pathways and you could say, okay, well, for the human race to survive, we have to take this pathway. So your morality could be based around that goal, that I want the human race to continue to survive. I'm seeing with my super psychic powers all the different possibilities that could happen, all the different ways that the human race could die out, and I'm going to do everything in my power to stop the human race from dying out. We're going to take that golden path, and it doesn't matter how many people have to die for us to get there. It doesn't matter how many governments we have to topple to get there. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep charging on through that golden path because humanity has to survive.
Yeah. Even if you had that kind of too tough.
Exactly. And even if you had that kind of a super powered psychic power, that's still not objective morality, because your goal is the preservation of the human race, and that's a subjective goal.
Yeah,
that's not an objective. There's no objectivity there, because there's nothing written into the source code of the universe that human beings have to survive forever. That's not anything. That's just our preference because we happen to be alive right now and we prefer living.
That's kind of what I talk about with a lot of them that come up. Is we tell them that they confuse evolution with having a goal of intelligence, Evolution don't give a fuck about intelligence. That just happens to be our mode of survival. Every other species has a different evolutionary survival thing. Ours just happen to be intelligence. Aliens in space that guy tried to give an example of may not even have an evolution anywhere near ours to have the same type of intelligence. They may not have any morals at all. It might just be straight up robots as far as their interactions go.
I mean, yeah, we might even be just a few years away from that being this planet. So you never know.
They said the singularity is only about 4 years away now, which is
on a
kind of crazy, but also exciting.
No competition on a planet where there's no competition for resources. What is theft?
Right.
What is theft? What does that even mean?
Exactly.
It's a completely irrelevant concept.
It requires a mind.
We can't even say that something like theft is universally immoral because there are some people who think that situationally theft can be acceptable, and there are potentially places in this infinite universe where the concept of theft is irrelevant. It doesn't even exist because the intelligent beings that live on that planet have so much abundance that stealing from each other is like, oh, I'm going into your house and breathing your air. I'm stealing air from you. Like, that's how they would look at it.
Mm-hmm.
They would have no way to even fathom how we human beings squabble over resources.
Basically,
they would be like, what even are you people doing?
Right. They wouldn't even understand what the concept of sharing for that very reason. It's like an ecosystem, or for that matter, because it would all just be like the idea that this is why I try to make the point, like, if you're going to tell me a moral's objective, you need to show me where it exists in the universe then, because it specifically requires a concept made up by a mind to even fathom it. So to say it's objective would be to take that mind out of it, which means that it would then have to exist somewhere, because it's not a descriptor like math. Like, math exists out there because it's a descriptor, right? Morals aren't a descriptor. They are what they are. So if you're going to take the mind out of it, it's got to exist somewhere.
And even if you try to take the God route, well, even if God, that God is the most intelligent being in the entire cosmos, even if that God created the cosmos, whatever goals that God wants to achieve are subjective. It is the subjective opinion of that being, no matter how powerful that being is, that being wants a certain outcome. And so that being is going to instantiate laws and morals and so forth that are going to have the outcome that it desires. That is still subjective, because a God could pick another outcome, or a different God in a different universe could pick a different outcome. So there's no getting to objective morality. There's just no pathway there.
All right. Before we get on to Sinner here, I am going to drop Minerva and CYKD down just because I am super friendly heavy, and these are all normal co-hosts for me. I do appreciate you all being here, and you're welcome to come back anytime. I've really appreciated your input and you all talking with us. So please come back. I do want you to do that. But I am going to drop you down for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. All right, Sinner, are you over 21?
Yes.
Perfect. And which topic did you come up for?
Well, God isn't a monster.
That's the one you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. And why have you read the Bible as a whole yet, or just before we get started so I know where you're at?
Yeah, but I don't believe in 100% of the Bible, because I only believe in the New Testament, basically, and the words of Jesus.
How do you have Jesus in the New Testament without the Old Testament?
Well, the Old Testament was the story of the
Let alone the
Israelites.
God.
Right.
But how do you get the God without the Old Testament?
Well, the Old Testament was the story of the Israelites, and the Israelites, you cannot, even today, still don't believe that Jesus was the Messiah. And Jesus
Right, but I'm asking about the God. How do you get the God in the New Testament without the Old Testament? It's the same God.
No.
You think it's a different God?
Yeah, if you would let me finish.
Yeah, well, I'm asking because you're talking about Jesus, but I'm talking about the God.
All right. Well, I follow Jesus, and I follow Jesus and his Father.
And who's his father? The God of the Old Testament. So if you think it's a different God, I'm asking who that God is.
Well, the Jews don't agree with you, right?
The Jews don't
agree
agree
that.
about Jesus. We're not talking about Jesus. We're talking about the God.
Yeah, well, it's a different God that they believe in. This is where
Who is the
Revelations
new
3
God?
points.
It's not.
It is. They believe in when their
Yahweh
Messiah
is the
comes.
same God of the Old and New Testament.
That's still
You guys
Yahweh.
keep repeating yourselves, but you're not letting me
Because
respond.
you're not answering the question. I asked you, who is the new
I would
God
like
then?
to.
Well, answer it. You
I
keep
would
talking
like
about
to.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. I follow Jesus and his Father.
Who
Right?
is his father? If it's not the God from the Old Testament, that's the question. Answer it.
See why it correlates now? Hello?
Yeah, his Father is. We just call him God the Father.
Is it the
And who is
God
that?
from the Old Testament?
No, it's not.
Then what is his
Who is he?
name?
Where did he come from?
He's the God who created the world, created everything.
So the God from the Old Testament.
Yahweh. Like we
The Old
said.
No, the Old Testament is something I don't believe in, so
Jesus
it's
Christ. Come
irrelevant.
get him.
Because,
Come get
yo,
him.
Okay,
Jesus,
hold on.
hurry up. Take your fucking people.
Hold on.
We
Let me ask
tired.
this question. You said you call
You guys
him
don't
God.
even understand because you won't let me finish. It's weird.
1 second.
No, you don't know your own belief system.
Well, I
Sinner.
could explain it very easily to you
Sinner.
if you would let me talk
Sinner.
for more than.
Sinner.
You can shut the fuck up.
God, there's three gods, Sinner, right? And there's three people and there's three deities, sort of, right? God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, and they're the Trinity. Is that what you believe?
It's three gods. Yeah, there's the.
It's God the
but
Father,
God the Father is the
God
Father
the Son,
at the top.
and God the Holy Spirit, right? Those are the
Yeah,
three you
God
believe
from
in?
God. Yeah.
So you're not a Trinitarian in one, you're just a Trinitarian.
There's more than one God in this world, but there's no God above the Father.
No,
okay.
Right. Well,
Is
all I'm
Jesus-
trying to clarify is you believe they are three separate gods, not three in one. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So okay. So do you believe in the New Testament, right?
Yes.
So who is Jesus the descendant of? Whose line is he in? Is it David? Is Jesus of the line of David?
Yeah, like I don't believe that he is the Jewish Messiah.
No,
okay?
I get you.
No,
He's of the line
Jewish
of David.
people don't think
correct?
that either.
He's of the line of David.
Neither do I.
correct?
Neither do Christians.
He's yeah, they do actually, because I was raised evangelical.
No, they don't actually.
Yeah, evangelical.
I could explain it to. I think that many Christians have tried to explain it to you, but you haven't been quiet long enough.
No, we just actually know the belief system in the book.
Let's let him.
You tell me what I believe.
No, let's
you tell me what I believe.
Hold on. Let's let him say
Go
what he
ahead
wants
and tell
to.
me what I
I'm
believe.
trying to let you have the stage. Shut up a minute.
He can't.
Let him say what he believes, even though we all have heard every Christian give us the same trope 50,000 times in 6 different slices in 6 different ways. But let him go ahead and say it so that we don't have to spend
Apparently,
the
you
entire
guys know
argument.
what I believe
So that we don't have to spend the entire argument talking about him not getting to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you understand that the Jews agree that Jesus is not the Messiah. Jesus never claimed to be the Jewish Messiah, and he is not the Jewish Messiah. I believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Father, not this Abrahamic religion nonsense that the Jews made up.
Who do you think the Christians got the fucking Jesus shit from?
Jews and Christians have been enemies for 2,000 years. You do not understand this?
No,
do you remember
you
Jesus'
dipshit.
words?
And I do
came
understand.
only for the lost sheep of Israel.
No, you don't understand that.
Listen, let me tell you something. Hold on, sweet happy. Hold on. Let me tell you something here, sinner. If it wasn't for my fucking people, you wouldn't even have your precious Jesus. Because the
Who's
original
your
scripture
people?
was written in Greek, Malakia. So there's that. Second of all, the whole point of the New Testament was to get rid of the Old
She's
Testament
Greek.
because it was anti-Semitic bullshit against the Jewish people. Yahweh is still in the New Testament, whether you fucking like it or not. If you want to go ahead and be a Marcionite who believes that Yahweh is an evil deity and is based on Yaldabaoth, do that. Be a fucking Gnostic. But don't sit here and claim that you follow Jesus and his father when his father, according to the goddamn New Testament, is fucking Yahweh. Now I'm done.
We're getting so angry, but anyways,
Because I'm
let's go
tired
back
of you
to
Christians cosplaying a fucking religion that you don't know shit about. I bet you don't even know how to read the original Greek.
Yeah, I know how to interpret the Bible properly.
There's no interpretation,
tell
it's
me.
words.
Show me.
Yeah, I can understand
Pull
it
up
better
the
than
New
you guys
Testament and the Koine. Pull it up.
Like, you guys won't even let me say
no,
what I
hold on.
believe,
Up the
so
New Testament
you're
and the
getting so.
goddamn Koine. Let's go ahead and test your Greek.
Why don't you let me talk and say my belief?
Because
like the
your
host said.
belief is based on fucking spewed bullshit. You don't follow the
Host was
book.
gonna let
You
me-
don't understand the belief system.
Host was
Because
gonna
if
let
you
me
did,
talk.
you would know that Yahweh is in the New fucking Testament, who is the father of Jesus that Jesus is talking about. You're going off of church tradition bullshit. You haven't done your research.
The New Testament mentions Old Testament people.
Well, I guess you know what
The
I
fuck?
believe in more than me then.
Yes, I do.
It's not about what you believe in.
What do I believe in?
It's not about what you
believe in
in.
anti-Semitic rhetoric.
Hold on. It's not about what you believe in. It's about the fact of what the actual scripture
Is she a
says.
Jew?
Oh my
No,
God.
bitch, I'm Greco-Egyptian. Are you fucking...
Yeah, you must be Jewish though. Why are you acting
No,
this way?
I'm not Jewish, you stupid fuck. But thank you for showing your anti-Semitism. I actually
Why are
do
you so
have
offended?
people in the comments that are Jewish, though. You want me to bring them up so you can say that to their face? Because I'm not Jewish,
Ask them if
bitch.
they're
I'm not
Jewish?
ethnically
I
Jewish.
just asked if
I'm
you're
not
Jew-
religiously Jewish. I'm Greco-Egyptian. You don't need to ask, bitch, because my flags are in my fucking profile.
Okay, I'd rather
You
not
want to
talk
be a
this
racist
woman no
fuck?
more.
Take that
She's
shit somewhere else. Don't take it with me.
very
Because
disrespectful.
I will end your whole fucking bloodline with just words, bitch. Don't try me.
Is that a threat?
I'm not in the fucking mood for your bullshit. It's not a threat, bitch. It's a fucking promise. How about that? Fuck out my face. Anti-Semitic bullshit. Keep suckling on your mother's teeth, you crybaby ass bitch. Moving on.
Oh, he was on Carbon's live last night, apparently being racist. Hanji, they're making me remove you. You know the drill. Come back on the other account. Do it to her all the time.
You know what's funny is just a little bit of research reveals that the word hallelujah, its origination means praise Yahweh.
Great. On
And
top
you
of,
meant
you can't tell me that the New Testament has nothing to do with the Old Testament when they literally reference David, Abraham, Moses, all people who were followers of Yahweh. It don't make no sense. Oh, he's back, so maybe he can clarify. I don't know. Thank you. Sinner, how are you saying the Old New Testament is different, not the same God as the Old Testament, when it literally references Yahweh himself as well as all the people that followed him specifically, such as David, Abraham, and Moses?
Well, because because Yahweh is not the Father, right? But the Father is the God of all people on earth.
No, he's not.
This has to be trolling.
Yes, he is,
Dugald.
and Yahweh
You
is
gotta
not
be
the
a
Father.
troll. There is no way you're sitting there telling me that everybody believes in Yahweh. No, he's not the God of the world.
Pardon? No, Yahweh is not what everybody believes in.
my
Yahweh
God.
is an antichrist.
You're trying to make a distinction between the same God.
May I, Dugald?
Yeah,
First-
go ahead, Dada. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
If
All
she's
right,
gonna start talking, I'm out of
Hang on,
here.
She's not. Calm
on,
down.
hold on. You're talking to me for a second, okay? You're talking to a simple-minded pagan. All right, so let's take this from the top. So you believe that Jesus is the Son of God who rules over the world and created it. Do you know this
Amen.
god's actual name?
No, nobody knows his name.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing right now.
The Jews claim to know his name, but
according to your scripture, and we can pull up scripture if you want. We can go into scripture and show you.
But like I said, you're going to bring up some Jewish scripture that
No, you're pulling up from the New Testament.
Unless it came out of Jesus'
we
mouth.
will go into if you want to go into Jesus' mouth.
Wait.
This?
Yeah, hold on.
And Jesus could be talking to the Jews when he's speaking.
Hold on. You're gonna say hold on. Fuck.
Jesus' father.
Jesus fucking
the
Christ.
The God of the
hold
Jews.
on. Is my mic not up again? Like.
No, I hear you.
Oh, it's working.
No, it was
just rude.
Fuck?
It's not working. It's muted.
He's just rude.
He's just a rude fuck. You can't. How are you going to say, I only go by what Jesus says? You're a Gentile. If you go only by what Jesus says, only the Israelites, the followers of Yahweh, are allowed to be a Christ follower. He never once said that he is here for the Gentiles. He claimed specifically, he specifically said he only came for the lost sheep of Israel, and he demeaned and degraded anybody who was not an Israelite, the followers of Yahweh.
John 3:16
No, it says in John
is John
3:16
talking.
that he.
That's John talking. That's not Jesus.
That's not Jesus. You said you only go by what Jesus said. John is not Jesus.
Can I respond?
Lucky.
Can I respond?
John isn't Jesus.
It's John 3:6.
John's not Jesus.
No, John wrote Jesus' words are in John.
John's not Jesus.
Jesus did not say that.
Jesus' words are in the book of John.
He didn't say. John did not say Jesus.
Yes, they are.
That's how we know you didn't read your book.
Jesus said that. John did not say that Jesus said that. That was John speaking, not Jesus.
Does it literally say, and Jesus said, or Jesus spoke?
Listen, when
Does
the
it
disciples.
say- does it
listen, when the
say-
disciples speak, they're speaking of what
Does
Jesus
it
spoke of.
Say, and Jesus said,
can't
or
learn- you
Jesus
guys don't-
spoke.
won't even
Because
argue
if you look at Matthew 5:18,
We are arguing with
it
you.
clearly states Jesus said or Jesus spoke. If it does not state that, it
It's not
is
our
the
fault. He can't
author
fact that.
speaking. So my question again to you is, do you actually know your God's name? Because it's clearly laid out not only in the First Testament, in the New Testament, but also
Nobody
in the
knows
Old.
God's
It is-
name.
Yes, they do.
The Jews
I'm gonna
claim
give
that,
you a
but I
little
don't
bit of
claim that as a
history
Christian.
lesson here.
The
Okay?
Jews will
So
claim
you
that, but I
get
don't claim that as a
Elion.
Christian.
You get
Are you just here to
Elion,
be
and then you go into
anti-Semitic?
from
Don't ask me
Elion.
questions if you don't want the answer.
Yeah, I do want the answer. Are you just here to be
Well,
anti-Semitic?
what the hell's the problem
He
then?
is
Every
here
time I
to be
talk, you guys are
anti-Semitic.
talking over me.
It's
He
just
is
a
here to be
question.
anti-Semitic.
Pathetic, dude. Why you can't
So
listen to
You
to
are
a
pathetic.
sentence?
You want to be
Yes.
racist,
You can't
but
listen
you
to
won't
anything more
stand
than a
on it.
sentence?
So you want to be
I can't say
racist,
Not
nothing
but
when
more
the
than a
things
sentence.
you say in that sentence
Get the
make no
fuck outta
fucking
here.
sense.
They don't make sense because you would take them out
No,
of context. I'm
no.
trying
When
to,
you give one
it takes more
sentence
than
that
one
says,
sentence to
when you
explain-
give one sentence that says the God of the
more
Old
than a
Testament.
sentence.
Oh, crash out,
You
crash
fucking
out,
go ahead and
crash
crash
out.
out. Be
Let me
anti-Semitic.
talk, you fucking reach.
Oh, now we're using the
Wah, wah,
slurs.
wah.
There goes the slur.
The
There
point,
goes the
what I was
slur.
trying to get at.
You know,
is
hold on, wait.
the-
I'm going to end this. I'm going to nip it in the bud because I know he's still listening right now. Hey, sinner, you love your precious Jesus so much, right? You love him so much. You love your triune deity so much. Hurry up and meet him. You're not in a fucking rush right now, huh? You love him so much. Hurry up and meet him. Why wait?
Fucking weirdos.
All right, y'all. These people got me tired.
I mean, his whole argument, he's doing the same thing as the last guy. Like, you don't understand your book or what you're saying. Even you saying the disciples.
Damn, Hanji is pissed off and mad. You're crashing
you
out.
haven't seen Pissed Off and Mad yet, honey. Would you like to?
Well, I can only imagine you get more mentally ill from there, so...
We fine.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
You know what's
Crying
weird?
a lot, Pumpkin.
Oh,
I was in the middle of a sentence and you came up here to address Hanji looking like that.
Ariel, go ahead and say it. Go ahead, Ariel. Go ahead.
Actually, I'm not the one muting you, but go ahead.
I am the one muting you. I'm the one muting you, dumbass. I am muting you because Ariel was in the middle of a fucking sentence. Shut the fuck up, whiny bitch. God damn, you are whiniest bitches. For goddamn Christians, this is what's funny. Christians come up here and they act like they're so morally superior and so righteous, but they're all insufferable assholes most of the time. All the time. They come up here to be dicks. They come up here to be anti-Semitic. They come up to be racist. And then they're surprised when people are pissed off at them or tell them to shut the fuck up. You came up here. I was going to let you talk, but you decided that you wanted to come up here, interrupt Ariel, and be pissy.
They're mad. They're
You
mad.
want to know what's funny, Dugald? Is that this
Hanji
is a
got
face
touched
only
by
a
her
mother
uncle.
can
I
love.
get it. It's upsetting to her, but she doesn't have the
it's
courage.
This is Sinner's alt though, so it's like he just picked a random face, slapped it onto an account.
Oh yeah, because the other sinners
Yeah,
is back
because
in the
he's too
request
pussy to
box.
show his face.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this too.
Oh, it's not
You
his
can
alt.
be a bitch in the comments, Sinner. Bye.
I thought it was his alt. I'm sorry. I thought that was his alt. My
You know,
fault.
it's funny. It's funny, sweet happy. You want to know why? Because when I talk shit, I show my face. Why? Because my hands match my mouth. Okay? It's so funny how these people
We
can
match
sit up
energy.
on this
If you bring
panel-
it up to me, then that's what you're gonna get back.
No, don't mute him. Don't mute him. Not yet. It's so funny because these are the same people that will talk a lot of shit, but for some reason are too pussy to show their face. Why is that?
Oh, because they know that they'd get in actual trouble in the real world. The worst is no one else here is actually saying anything wrong.
Nope.
It's just that they know that they'd actually face real world backlash.
Yep. That's pretty much-
Incel behavior.
But he got my live restricted because they reported it because they're so upset.
That's why I blocked. That's why I was muting and blocking him, because you're only in here to mass report and talk shit at the same time. So
And it's so funny how he came after me. Like, baby, not the chance in 80s.
Yeah. So go ahead and block that one too. If reporting is all they're gonna do, then we'll go ahead and block
Mhm.
that one too.
They don't like the fact that we know their belief and their book better than them. So they go to racism and anti-Semitism.
Well, that's kind of why I brought up the simple-minded pagan bit.
Mhm.
In all honesty, like I knew exactly where he was going, and I was about to corner that waffle.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and
Please.
wrap this bitch
Wait,
up.
Dugald, make
Yeah.
it big. Make it big real quick.
I just came back to this picture. Please.
That is glorious.
That's a ham sandwich, by the way. I know that's really fucked up of me, but I can't help it.
All right, y'all.
Not his mama in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, his mama watching him do that.
All right, y'all. I am going to wrap it up. The 30 of you that are here, go raid my friend. I just put her name in the chat. Her name is Reggie, but she goes by Regina _0 phalanges. Go raid her. Tell her Dugald raid when you get there. I love y'all. I'll see you all. I'll probably do a live tomorrow, but I think I'm going to do it like early in the day. So join me then.
I'll be available.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all. Bye.